to help the kids. Well, you have to understand, helping the students still means you're being taught by a white regime, right? Because you couldn't be a teacher if you were black, right? So they were a bunch of white people that helped. So this is not a hatred thing. This is support thing. So now the people that are teaching the school have kids. They couldn't teach them in the same classroom. So now you had a class for the whites and a class for the black. Over time now, you had more black kids, and they go, wait a minute, our students are black, but our administration is white. And the students protested, and they got their first African-American president, Dr. Moran, right? So, and he was, if you read some of his history, he was strict. So if the kids were bad for some reason, he would send them to pick up rocks. Yeah, pick up rocks from the quarry and bring them on campus. But what he did was, while they were bringing the rocks, they were building the foundation of one of our halls. And after kids see the building being run, they actually volunteered and got more rocks. And now that's still the strongest building on campus. All right? Some history. I'm sorry? Moran Hall, correct. Okay? Named after him. So now, what does that mean? Where do we get money from? A regular school get majority of money from their endowment and also from the student tuition. Oakwood University gets it from PASS, a little bit of endowment, because we have some money, some of the PASS alumni, but also from funds from the government. HBCU money is put aside. Oakwood University is the only SDA HBCU school. That means that any money comes into the SDA organization for HBCU school, it comes to us, right? We're actually owned by the NAD. A regular university is owned by the conference or the union they're in. But Oakwood is the only college or university now that's owned by the NAD. That means we could go anywhere, hunt everywhere. All right? So money now. HBCU funds are put together for support. Everybody got math, English, science, and you can't beat that. All the colleges got all those. What they don't have is support money. For example, all our books are free. All our books are free from a grant. All our books are free. So if a student comes in to school, all your books are paid for. That's money from HBCU. Another thing, if the kid has a problem with math, we pay them $25 an hour to be tutored. Let that fester, let that fester, let that fester in your mind. You have a problem in math, and we're paying you $25 an hour to be tutored. That's support. You see what I'm trying to say? Think of disability. When you think of disability, you think of a physical disability, all right? You called your son or daughter up on a Monday and gave them bad news. Your uncle passed away, right? On Monday, the kid comes to me and says, hey, I'm having some rough times. What I do is I put him to the disability coordinator and say, that's a temporary disability. So he calls the professor, and the professor said, fine, we have an exam on Thursday. I'll give him an extra half an hour. We didn't go around the problem. We mitigated it by giving more time. Make sense? Okay. So we have extra money for those kind of support problems. Also, excuse me. Also, we don't give money away. We actually make them earn it, right? So let's start from the high school point. They leave high school. They earn a grade point average in high school for 4 years, a cumulative GPA. That GPA is linked to money, right? So the money that we give them, just again, according to their GPAs, right? If a person get a 3.9 or above in the high school, we give them $65,000. Let that fester. I'm gonna let it fester a little bit. $65,000. We didn't give it to them. They earned it for the last 4 years. Make sense? All the way down to a 2.0. They got a 2.0, they get $6,000. But see the difference? 2.0, give them 6,000, and a 3.9, give them 65, and they could range in between that. All right? That makes sense? So we gave them the money according to what they have. Now they come to school. Where are they going to get extra money? For every dollar they make, we match. So everybody has an internship, right? My major is math. I'm going to get a math internship. My major is media. I get a media internship. My major is biology. I got a biology internship day one. For every dollar they make, we match. They make $1, we match it. They make $1,000, we match it. They can make $1,500 every semester, and we'll match it. That's $3,000 a year they make for the next 4 years. Right? Again, they earn it because we're giving them according to how much they work. You kind of see how it works now? We try to let them be a part of their education experience. And when I say that, 60% of the students change their minds in their freshman year, 60%. That means they come in as a biology major because their parent think they're going to be a doctor. We give them an internship, being in the hospital, and they hate it. They change to something else. So because we know that the internship helped them to touch it, feel it, make sure they're okay. I wanted to be an accountant. It made sense. I love math. I was just building myself. I'm going to be the best accountant possible until I got my first job as being a junior accountant, and I hated it. I couldn't, it wasn't that I just didn't feel right. And I remember as I'm walking out the door, the guy goes, "Son, what's going on?" I'm like, it's not that I don't like this opportunity, it's just I'm not feeling it. He had a pen, simple pen in his pocket. He threw the pen on the table. He said, "Son, I designed a pen." As a kid, you go, "Oh, that's nice." And I kept on walking. But before I got to the door, he said, "That pen could write on the moon." And I stopped. He said, "You tell me why that pen could write on the moon, come back the next day. A regular pen requires gravity. On the moon, there's not enough gravity, so a regular pen would not work on the moon." He said, "Change your major to engineering. Your mind will not grasp the routineness of being an accountant." So I changed my major right away to engineering, and I loved it. Just say he didn't care. Another kid, ungrateful, got a job, and he don't like it. Let him walk out the door. He could have stopped there. But because he took the time, I became somebody. So we try to do the same thing at Oakwood. Find out what that kid really wants. You know, like I said, your mind thinks you want to do something, but when you touch it and feel it, it's a different feeling. Let them change their mind at that time. So the internship is not a hard job. It's just to get them familiar with it. I've got 14 student workers that work for me. They come in, I check to make sure they get their homework done, I see if they're behind any labs, and they do their homework first. Because to me, that's why you're here. You see? If a student comes in on Monday and tell me what the problems, I can fix it. If I don't see them for weeks, I don't know it. So it's kind of an eyesight. We get to make sure they're okay. So it's more than a job, it's a touch base. See what I'm trying to say? That's support. All right? So those are the kind of things that we try to give them to allow them to function for that 4 years. We have a lot of activities, but we may play sports, it's not our priority. You see, we play basketball, we have soccer, but we focus on our schoolwork, so that stuff you do on the side. You're not going to walk away with nothing but a good degree as far as I'm concerned. All right? So we push the academics so they can actually be somebody, and while they're there, they play and have fun. We got 8 choirs, right? So you're going to have an opportunity to sing. But I cannot let your singing stop you from doing something else. Fair? The Aeolians, yes, they're the #1 choir in the world, but if you don't pass that semester, you no longer could sing. You're not on the team. If you don't clear that semester, you're not on there. So they just keep rotating, whoever could sing. There's 8 choirs for a reason. We have a lot of people. And there's no choir scholarship. There's no music scholarship. They sing for the fun of it. There's none. None. And if we could get that much people, quality, on no scholarship, imagine if you paid somebody. All right? But the quality is so high. All right? Support again. The church here, there's matching scholarships. So the church pays, the conference pays, matches it, and then we match it. There's money there. During the summer, CVL up in, you work up there. Victory Lake Camp, you work up there, we match it. Canvassing is not dead. They get $2,600 just to canvass before school and after school, meaning during the summer and during the winter break. $2,600 more, right? Regular schools, you need to be 100% cleared to start classes. At Oakwood, you only got to be 70% cleared to start classes because we know our people need extra help. All right? So you can see the goal is to try to get them to that next level. All right? And where you come, think of your community here. You have a kid next door to you that's not going to school, right? You introduce that kid to our school, and now he's locked in. When he comes back, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to thank you. That's your community service, right? So don't think of my kids, my people, me, me, me. Think if you live in an environment where there's a bunch of kids here that need to get out of the city mentally, right? You have a conduit to do that now. You call us up, hey, Billy's having a rough time. Could we get him out of New York and put him in school? We put him in school. He's not going to thank us. He's going to thank you. So you have to feel that this community is a part of your stomping ground. Fair? All right. You have a single parent that got a kid that's getting in trouble. Would that help if he's out of here and go to a good school? Probably. Let's get together and pool together and make that happen. You tell us, we figure it out, we get some extra scholarship for him. For example, as I fall down, I didn't get anything to drink today. As you tell us about the issue, we have scholarship called the first generation scholarship, meaning his parents didn't go to college or finish college. We try to get him through. But we don't know that unless you find these kids, right? And that's extra money that we're giving you, right? We're not asking you for it. We're saying, hey, let's figure out what the situation is and make this happen, all right? Be more engaged, I should say, so that you could help them. And all we're just a facility, right? We're just trying to get them to that next level. I told you this morning that we would travel all over the world, and 1 out of 35 is a black man. That's not good. That is not good, right? Sorry? You gonna offer me a drink in front of the public like this? I'm good. Actually, yeah, I'll take something to drink. Water. Sorrel. No, water's good. You be that initiator. Say, during my regime, we got a program together to help the community, and we'll help you. Start it up. You never know. When you leave the church, it'll still go, right? I didn't expect to be at Oakwood, but for some reason I'm there, right? I didn't expect to be here, but I'm here. So don't think of it as what we have to do now. When I plant the seed and I walk away, y'all got to make sure the seed keep going, right? Trying to figure out ways that not to get Oakwood rich, try to figure out how we get this community back on track. So when this church shut down, they're going to miss you for helping their kids. Fair? All right. So I told you about Oakwood. I told you about monies that you could get. What else can I tell you? Think about a female, for example. A woman with a degree will walk with her head up. My girls that leave Oakwood University, you can't say smack to them anymore, right? You're not going to bring no lame game to her anymore, right? She's going to think her way through it. You empower them to be somebody. My boys, we're having less men going to college for a reason, right? The devil knows empowerment is education. I told you I grew up in Boston. We lived in Boston back in the 70s, so there was still segregating schools. So they shipped me from intern Boston to outside of Boston, to East Boston, and they would drive me into school every morning, and they would stone my bus every morning. I was in the 5th grade, and I'm like, that don't make any sense. The bus driver knows exactly where they're stoning us. Let's find another way. So I waited in the back of the bus, and everybody got off the bus, and I went up to the bus driver. I said, I got a brilliant plan. It's the best plan I ever think about. I said, let's just try to find another route every day, and we'll get to school safely. And this was this Caucasian man. He said, son, don't ever change your path. They will stop. And that etched in my brain. He said, you get to school, son, and you study hard today. Because they're not afraid of your color. They're afraid of your mind. And this was way back. Thank you so much. This was back in the 70s. But it gave me a sense of purpose. We don't want to avoid conflict. want to get through the conflict. They were afraid that we're going to get as smart as they were. So this whole goal of mine, personally, is to make these little kids as smart as possible. And I don't care where they go. I just need them to get to that next level. All right? So whatever we could do to facilitate that, that's what we're trying to do. All right? Questions? You can talk loud enough, right? If not, we use the mic. Easy questions. No, go ahead.
Not all our students will be doing academias. What is our administration, what is our schools doing for kids who can be mechanics, plumbers, or those kind of skill jobs? We don't prepare our kids for those skill jobs because we push just academia. And that's unfair to the kids who don't, some of them don't have the aptitude, but some do have the aptitude for academia, but they would like to work with their hands. And they get more money than the kids who do academia. What are we doing to prepare our students for that?
Good question. Think back as far as history now. Like when I grew up, they didn't give us a chance to go to school. They only provided those kind of skills. You're going to be a welder. You're going to be a mechanic. That's all they pushed, right? That's all they pushed. They never gave us a chance to get any kind of education academically. So we actually went the opposite way, right? And let me give them as much chance as possible to go to college. We went to the extreme, okay? But what we did when we went to the extreme, when we gave them a chance to go to college and they couldn't, they fell back on those. So I would still opt on telling a kid, you could be a welder, but you want to weld the space shuttle. You can't weld the space shuttle unless you have a mechanical engineer degree. You see what I'm trying to say? I would say push them that way, and then we have people that can't make it, and then you push that. We have a young man, he had a 1.4, which is very low. We gave him 1 semester to try hard. He messed the 1 semester up. Dr. Vanderpool in our biology department says, hey, give him one more chance. One more chance. She got him, made sure he was okay. That boy now is a doctor at the Mayo Clinic. You see what I'm trying to say? So, sorry? No, I'm going to that. I'm going to. So he would have been a mechanic and never had a chance to be that way, is my point. But for the ones that don't do that well, we actually don't send them to college. We actually realize that after that's why the internship is important. And we actually push them to that after, but it's not our first. That's all I'm saying. Question, finish up. Come to the mic. I don't mind the question, so please, come.
It's not a matter of that the kid is not doing well. We know we have kids that don't have the ability, and I get that.
Right.
Let the kid do something. But they're kids who can do well academically as well as skill. Yep. And we do not foster that in the children who wants to do a skill instead of academics.
Right.
We don't foster it.
We support it, but support it secondhandly because we used to support all the white kids went to college. All the black kids got a skill. So because we started off from that point, we make sure every black kid got a chance to go to college and then supply those. So we have a community college in our area that we actually send kids to make sure they get those kind of skills. We have people that, we call it, while you're in college, for example, our medical students, they get their EMT. We even have a scuba diving certificate. We have a computer certificate, just regular computer certificate. We have other things that they get if that's what they want. But at the high school level, they're trying to weed those out. But we're just trying to give them opportunities, but we are trying to send them to those schools if that's the place to go. Go ahead.
I feel that our kids are still not being given options.
When? At what level? High school level? At what level?
Any level. We should move away from the thought that the white kids were educated and we were given skills. We're way past that.
Okay.
But our kids are not given that options. It's not if you don't do well, you go to community college. If I want to go to community college and I can do well, I go to community college. I should be given options.
Right.
I want to be a plumber. And I want to be a good plumber, but our kids are not steered towards that. We do not, and we do not.
Right, and I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying we don't steer them.
We don't offer it.
Right.
We don't.
You cannot be a plumber in college. The college does not have a plumbing degree.
I understand that.
Right?
I know
So we just want to find a balance. So that plumber has skills that I could put on a space shuttle. That plumber, so I'm just trying to say we want to try to offer both because it's easy for them to go to those things. A mechanic takes 6 months. A regular mechanic takes 6 months.
Yeah, and he makes
so I don't have to push him
$150,000
too hard to be a mechanic is my point. I don't have to push him too hard. He will evolve into that.
No, but we make our kids feel less than if that's what they want to do.
That's from the parent point of view, but from an educator point of view, it's not.
No parent wanted to say, oh, my son, wouldn't be proud to say, oh, my son wants to be a plumber.
Right.
No parent want to say that. Oh, my son wants to be a mechanic. Right. You know?
Right.
I have a niece who is a straight-laced, above A student. And everybody, oh, she should be a doctor. Right. I said, leave her alone and let her be what she wants to be. Right. You know what she wants to be? She wants to be an engineer. Okay. And everybody says she wants to be an engineer. Oh, leave her alone. Right.
And that's what the internship is for them to touch it and feel it to find out. I'm not pushing what the parent should do because I'm not in the home. And you're right, a parent may not want, but I guarantee you, I've got more parents that don't want the kid to go to college. I have situations where I go into the home and the parent is afraid that the kid's gonna be smarter than them, so they're not sending them to college. They're sending them to be a plumber and be a mechanic because that's as high as they got. And I gotta drag the kid out to give him a chance. So I see that day in and day out. So because, well, that's what I'm saying. So my mindset is give them a chance for that. Because they're parents that never want their child to be smarter than them. Never. So they're down in this kid going, you could not make up, what are my bills? And they will never get a chance to get out. You see? So I'm not gonna fight that battle is my point. Because that child is trying to get out and they can't. I'm more really trying to save them than I'm trying to convince my child to be a plumber. You see? But the plumber's money. It's an opportunity thing. That's all. Right? Because you could fix the plumbing on the space shuttle. Why would you want to fix the plumbing in somebody's house? That's a 6-month job. So I'm aim high and then fall down. That's my point. And I can't save the world, which I'm with you, but I'm going to save as many people and give as many opportunities to aim for the star. That's all. Fair? Okay. We have another question. There was a guy in the back that raised his hand. Come on, sir. Come on, sir. You wouldn't understand for me to go into somebody's home and this child is going to be a mechanic and that's it. The mother will never let him out because the mother never had an education. She does not want her son to be better than she is. And I have a lot of that. A lot of that. All right? Okay, go ahead.
Sir.
Focus. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Mm-hmm. You have a child who doesn't live in the United States. Mm-hmm. What are the options? What does Hope will offer in terms of scholarship or free tuition for them to apply to the university?
These are kids that are in the United States, right? Outside. Okay. All right. Every academic scholarship is the same for inside and outside. The tuition is the same for in-state and out-of-state and out-of-country. Nothing changes, right? The universe that we live in, we have 57 different countries represented at Oak University. We don't do that by accident. We don't. So the academic scholarships are for everybody. The work is for everybody, you see? The only thing that's not is the U.S.-based scholarship. For example, your Pell Grant, your unsub loan, your sub loan, those are FAFSA things that you have to do when you're in the United States. But everything else is for both parties. Some of the UNCF money is for the United States because it comes in for the United States. But some of them is for anybody. So it is a lot of opportunities for people outside also. The people that do colporting, we have more international students doing that. That's $2,600 every semester, right? Because they can't work regular. When a person comes from outside of the country, Homeland Security says you need to support yourself for 1 year, just 1 year. To support yourself for 1 year at Oakwood is $30,000. So they put that number up, $30,000, and then they subtract all the scholarships we give them. For example, the academic scholarship. So say you need $30,000, we give you 20, you only need to show support for 10, and allows them to get an F1 visa. It's easier to come in the country as a student than it is for a regular person. So we have a lot of students that come in on the F1 visas, and we fill out the paperwork for them. That make sense? Okay, sir. Any other questions? Come on, I know you're thinking about them. Question.
Oakwood has a farm. Do they have an agricultural major?
I'm laughing because we have a major farm. Oh, sorry. She said Oakwood has a farm. And then do we have an agriculture and a farmer kind of a degree? Okay. I'm breathing through this that you called me out. It's okay. You bring me water, and now you're calling me out. So Oakwood University has a farm. It started a couple years ago, and it was a little tiny shack, small shack. They made so much money in that shack. Now they have a market across the street. It brings in over $1 million a year. But the kids don't work the farm. The president made the mistake one year and said, you know, it would be nice if we just pick cotton, just to see how it is to pick cotton. And parents went nuts. I ain't send my child down there to pick no cotton. Parents went nuts. And the kids go, we ain't working no farm. Kids don't make good farmers. They don't. They do not make good farmers. People that are into agriculture are older people. My mother, you give her a 2-foot by 2-foot thing, she would grow every green planting she could find on that thing. That's the old person stuff. Young kids can't do that. So we said, let's have the farm there. If they want to, they could touch it, but if they don't, it's okay. I'm hearing grumbling. What are you saying? Speak up. Ooh, I like how she said that. Breathe through it. I'm gonna breathe through that. So think about that. If you present it the right way, the kids will go, please pick me, I'll do it, right? Alabama A&M is up the street from us. That's all they do is farming. Went down. No one wants to do it anymore. So they're presenting, that's their main focus, and they're not getting people to pick plants. So yes, it's presentation, but it's the kind of people we work with, right? Not only from the student point of view, but the parent point of view, right? To get your child to do something, plant, it's hard. It's just life. I mean, when I lived there in New York, I had 13 acres of land. I never once put a seed in it. Think about how silly I was. 13 acres. And never once I said, I'm going to put some seed in here. Not once. It's just a different mindset. My mother, every time she comes visit, she talk about me, that I'm not a real Jamaican, and just blast me. Did it change me? No. I agree with her too, but I ain't going out there. You can present it all you want. I ain't going out there. It's just a different mindset, right? So I would love for my child to go be agriculture, because there's the art to agriculture. You need to know what to grow, how long, the nutrition that comes out of the land. It ain't no poppy, no seed, and It's more to it. And I'm sorry? But I'm saying that's my point. It's harder for them. So instead of us fighting it, we actually got a farm, got people to work it, and we make money, and we use that money to pay for their tuition. $1 million a year. You see what I'm trying to say? So we didn't get rid of the farm. We kept the farm mentality, but we utilized it so the kids, because the people in the neighborhood, our community think that we like growing holy stuff on our property. They think that greens come from God. Good luck with that, you know? But they buy it, and you never want to put your hand out begging for money. But if you put your hand out, you grow something, they will buy double the cost because they're helping you. And that's the mindset we give them. Don't give it to us. We're going to give you a product, and you're going to pay for it. They said back in the day, Oakwood was self-preservation, meaning they sold the community milk. They didn't eat the cows. so they claim, but 48 cows you getting milk out of, but once in a while, one cow left the ranch. I'm just saying. Somehow somebody ate at least one cow. But they actually sold stuff. They made sure there was sell. Everything was from that place. So our roots started that way. It's just that eventually we had to evolve. Fair? Okay. Another question. Y'all got hard questions. Another question. Okay, let me ask you a question. Who in here knows a young person that should be in college that's not? Raise your hand. Just one that should be in college but's not. Okay? That's my point right there. I don't care where they go, people, but you cannot tell me if they fired my behind and I walk out that job with my degree, I have a better chance, right? My first job, I worked in this company called Digital up in New Hampshire. I walked in, I told the lady, I worked for a company called Honeywell first, going to school. And the guy said, son, when I offered you money, you jumped so much, you didn't even bargain. I never made money before. So like, yeah, I'm coming in. So I showed up to that job. But when I got in there, he showed me how to bargain, how to make sure that my value was worth it. So after I left that company, I left school, I went up to Honeywell, I went up to the company was called Digital. And I said, this is how much they're paying me. If you pay me 10% more, I show up to work tomorrow. They did, and I showed up. I showed up to work. This lady came out. She's teaching me for 3 months, just showing me how to do the designs and work in the computers. 3 months she taught me. Then she came in my office and she slammed the door. So I'm like, I broke something. I'm feeling bad about myself. She said, no, son, you're getting paid 3 times more than me. She's teaching me, but had no degree. Think about that. She's teaching me, but she had no degree, so she wasn't getting paid as much. And I couldn't understand that. So I went to my manager and said, how in the world you could pay me so much money? He said, son, the government gives our company a discount and money off if we hire a college hire. So if they're paying you $10,000 and they're getting $4,000 on the back from the government, you can make $14,000. You see what I'm trying to say? If I used to recruit for my job, so I go to different schools and I try to hire kids. And think about that. I said, if you come with me with a degree, I put you in a pile. If you come with no degree, I'm asking you 100 questions because I don't know you. Because if I turn around to my boss and go, I hired this kid, he's like really good at it. If I have a degree, I just put the degree down, I'm done. If he doesn't, I gotta explain that he's good. And if that kid messes up, I may lose my job. But if the kid that I hired with a college degree loses, no problem. I did the process. You see what I'm trying to say? The paper empowers the kids. And all I'm saying, it's not gonna be the end all. Wait, you picked the seat on the other side. That's good. No, my point is, don't follow nobody else. Just handle your business. That's like, I like that. Break the mold. We are empowering them with that piece of paper is what I'm saying. We ain't guaranteed they're not going to be criminals. We're not saying that. We're just saying that you're going to be a good criminal. That's all. Empower these young kids. 31 years at IBM. And I thought, what did I take from that? I told you how my books got given to me. I went free for 4 years for my first degree. I went free for my second degree. I went free for my PhD. Free. Suppose I didn't do that. You think I'd be up here now? You'd be visiting me at the prison, talking about the prison ministry, if I didn't get an opportunity. Because I'm going to either be good, or bad, right? This mind could be used either way. But somebody gave me an opportunity, one of 6 kids, an opportunity. And you cannot tell me that wasn't a big blessing to me. Big blessing. So I know I want to help, but only way I can help is by giving them a piece of paper. I don't know nothing else. I talk to the kids as much as I can, but that paper, I give it to them and I walk away. That's all. Fair? Okay, any other questions? Come on, people. What do you, oh, question? It's about getting your kids to college, yes. Qualification to go to college. First, I'm going to tell the qualification, then I'll tell you the age. You could get into college with a less than a 2.0, but we put you in a special program that allows you to try and then get into the program by the time we push you up to a 2.0. I told them about a story of a kid coming at a 1.4, and now he's a doctor. So you could get in as far as qualifications for less. The scholarship started at 2.0, and they go all the way up. So 2.0 gives you $6,000, 3.9 gives you $65,000. So it's not a qualification to get into college, it's a qualification, what are you going to do with it? If you're not smart, you're paying money. But you'll get other scholarships, right? For the kids that are under a B or lower, 3.0 or below, we give them money up front, and every semester they get a 2.0, we give them $1,500 more. Because the smart kid got his money up front. The ones that's trying hard, we give them in, and every semester they get $1,500. A 2.0 is a C. You get that in college, we keep giving it to you, all right? Because no matter how much good or bad you do in high school, once you get your first semester in college, that's your new GPA. Do you remember the classes and the GPA you had during middle school? No, because when you got to high school, it wipes it away. But when you get to college, your college GPA stay with you for life. Life. So you want any kid that's not doing well in high school, we actually put them through a program and give them one good semester in college, and bam, it wipes out the entire badness in high school. See what I'm trying to say? Okay, good question. When you say qualification, then I'm going to tell you the age. I told you I got two 13-year-old geniuses in school, 13. So the qualification is graduating from high school. That's it. There's no age limit. One of them has an internship with NASA right now. Right? She became the youngest person, the youngest black person, male or female, to get accepted in med school. Right? But if she sat next to me, you would know she's a genius. Right? We have to stop putting people in categories. Oh, you look like you're smart. Oh, you're going to get somewhere in life. You'd be surprised. If I take the suit off, would you think I'm good? Probably not. Right? You have to stop putting kids in categories. When I was little, what'd you say? You saw that in me? Oh, yeah. She's all over the place. She is all over the place. All the big... She was on GMH. Jet? No, it was Ebony. Ebony picked the top 10 STEM girls from colleges. She was number 2 at 13. She called and said, Chris, they picked me. I overnight her a shirt, and she wore that shirt in the pictures. She's 13, but we kid around like we're like kids. I met her in Texas, just walking down the street. She got home, her mother called and said, Chris, this kid likes you. I don't care what school you're in, you need to help this child. And she was only 13. And I don't play. I do not play when it comes to schoolwork. I don't have to love your kids. You do. I push them so they can learn how to get up. Sorry. Right? I can't do what you do. I cannot. But I see potential. I push it. All right? And you'll be surprised. When I say don't judge kids, you guys know the Xbox 360? The kids play on it. There's 3 levels of that Xbox. There's the level that you touch, the game switches, and you push the buttons. Then there's the graphics, the games. In between that, there's something called firmware. It makes the system fast. I designed that. Every single Xbox all over the world. Was I tall? No. I'm short. Did you know that? No. But regular people doing amazing things. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a deodorant with a ball on it, and you put the deodorant on. Remember that? Right? The guy was sitting there, putting the deodorant on, and came up with the idea of the mouse. Now everybody got a mouse. Ideas come and you will be surprised. Imagine the first person that says, I'm going to create this thing called the cloud. Y'all going to put all your stuff up in there. They would laugh at you. Ain't nobody going to trust you. They trust you now. Think of GPS. We used to track one thing in a plane. It's called the black box. That was it. Big old plane. We track one thing. The black box, that's it. Then GPS got better. They go, nobody wants to know where things are. Big Brother's watching. You kids are crazy. First, we got this low jack. The low jack was in your car, so you could find your car in case you lose it. Then, okay, we need more data, okay? Then we said, fine, let's put it on criminals, the ankle bracelet. They could go home now. We know where they are, because the criminals, nobody cares about them. Oh, we need more data. Then we put them on animals. You can't find your little dog? We'll put a little thing on it. We'll be able to find it. We need more data. Until now, we have everything tracked. Every single part in that plane is tracked. Every single part. Think about that. My GPS could tell me if I'm on the first floor or the second floor. If you turn, boom, I know exactly. But they didn't think it was a good idea at first. They laughed at us. Now GPS, everybody got it. Everybody. You cannot get to the point where you put your kids in these categories and think they can't do it. You cannot. We spend so much money on helping these kids, you'll be surprised what kind of job. Think about the kind of jobs. Back in the day, you went in as a nurse, you came out as a nurse. You go in as a doctor, you come out. Now, you got interior designers. You got all these different type of real jobs that people are making money on, right? Don't limit them is my point. Fair? Okay, question. No questions. You young lady. Oh. He's coming to the mic. I like questions. Could you make it an easy one because the other people gave me hard questions?
What is OU's course on entrepreneurship? Because what I'm realizing is that a lot of the stuff that I'm hearing is all about the JOB. So I want to know, how do we make us to be entrepreneurs? How can OU help us to be entrepreneurs? And the teachers who are teaching us entrepreneurs, are they entrepreneurs themselves, or are they just professors who know entrepreneurship?
Good point. His question is, how does Oakwood University integrate Christianity with actually work? Okay, so entrepreneur, well, anytime job-related stuff. Okay, so at Oakwood University, we're a Christian environment. That means we have chapel, right? That means the kids are in church, but not mandatory, but they show up anyway, right? The child is now an adult. You didn't send us your high schoolers. You sent us your grown 18-year-old adults. So there's only so much structure we could do, right? There's a curfew, but it's more a guideline. For example, if you're out after 12, we want you back, but more importantly, we want to know where you are. So if your mama call, we need to figure it out. So if you call your mama said it's okay for you to go visit Aunt Mary late, done. It's a guideline, right? Our teachers have to practice Christian environment in their classes, meaning they pray, they do stuff that you would normally do in a Christian environment. If you don't want that, you can't come to our school. So we do integrate that because I want the best person possible. But trust me, I also want some of Jesus. And I tell you why. I went around in in Huntsville, and I interviewed some of the workers who got our people, some of the employers that got our kids. I'm like, why are you going to hire Jane? He goes, you religious people are on time. I don't hear any foul mouth, stuff coming out of their mouth. They're respectful. Right? There's no class in that. But if you're around respectable people, you know how to carry yourself when you get in public. That's an asset, people. I may not be the best engineer, but they know that I'm not going to be disrespectful. They're going to send me instead, right? The assets that we have that other people get naturally are those kind of things. So it's not a religious thing, it's a God thing. Right? That's what gives our kids value, structure. I may think something, but I'm not going to say it in front of my mama. But my mom is not around. I'm at Oakwood University. I carry myself accordingly, right? So those are assets. So the people hire us not because we're smart, it's because what we bring to the table. Fair? Okay, question.
When the professors are teaching our students, when the professors are teaching our students, are they also encouraging them to think outside the box so that they are creative in their way of thinking, so that they can not necessarily go and get a job, but become the job?
In today's society, there are jobs that we call creative jobs. And those went from 5% 20 years from now ago to 15% 5 years. Now it's up to 20%. Because you create your job, right? You find a hole in the market. Before, the only people that had businesses was poor people, right? They couldn't go to, so they went and found their own business. But now, you have people getting creative jobs by creating a market for something. And the difference is this. I could open a store. I could open a restaurant, right? But if I have a business major, I now have a restaurant here, a restaurant there, and I manage my restaurants. You see what I'm trying to say? So we show them how to be creative in the skills that they have. Entrepreneurship is built into our business degree, right? Because it says this, find a gap and take advantage of the gap. Back in the day, you worked for a company for 30 years. You got a big retirement and you laid back and enjoy life. No longer. There's no company that's going to keep you for 30 years. So the government put together stuff that you could jump from job to job and keep your 401k, right? It's not our old school, but it showed you how to be creative, right? When I started at IBM, my secretary picked out all my stocks. Just, you get this, boom. I never changed it in 30 years. Never. Today's kids do because they understand enough about it and they control their future. Me, I don't do money well. So whatever she picked out day one, I had on day 30 years. It's not the same. Because now you work for a company for 5 years, you switch your 401 to somebody else. So it requires more business knowledge. That make sense? Okay. Did I answer your question? Bam. Any other questions?
Is this session like? Yes, girl, here. Okay, so I was just wondering if this session, because I came in late, is it about just like the high school kids going into Oakwood, or is it for the younger kids, elementary and middle school, or? Okay, I was just wondering. Let me fix up my question now that I know it's for everyone. Right. Let me fix it up.
I gotta pray for you. Pastor, oil. Fix it up, girl. I'm coming back to you. Okay? I always say you need the whole gamut of stuff. Like I said, I see the little kids here. I'm looking at, they're gonna be somebody later on. Right? And if we don't get that under control, like that little young lady that was up here if we don't get her on track, she's gonna be on somebody else's track. Somebody else's track. We have to give them something to do. Like I said, if I wasn't in the church, I'll be doing something, and I'll be good at it. Right? My daughters, I want them to be great. I really do. But when they are in church with me, I jump for joy. Money cannot let us go. The young man asked us about job. Yes, I want you to work. But at what cost? Right? Am I perfect? Not even close. But God still used me. Think about that. I ain't perfect, but he still used me. So my kid's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to be there for them. And that's all we're trying to do here. Fair? Question? Go ahead.
Sorry to be a
Bring it.
pest.
That's okay. Come on. Come on.
Sorry to be a pest.
No. Yeah.
But let's be realistic. I have 3 kids.
3 or 2?
3.
Okay.
It's a scenario.
Okay.
I have 3 kids. I do have 3 kids, though. I have 3 kids. I have to pay my mortgage or my rent. I have to do other things. We have to live.
Okay.
Now, how do you sell me
Okay. I can do that.
on getting one of my children? I have all these expenses.
Okay.
The city colleges are way cheaper
Okay.
than what Oakwood is offering. I am banking on the fact that my child come to church, we do our worship, they have their little God.
Okay.
They have their experience with God. I can't afford to send my child to Oakwood. And Oakwood was never an option for me.
I can
How
sell
do
you.
you sell me that?
You sit down and then come back. We'll fight later. Okay. Let's go to a scenario. She's coming. Are you first generation or second? Did you go to college? Yeah. Yes. Okay, so she's not first generation. So let's carry her through a process. Each semester, they need $15,000. Let's make it real. They need $10,000 to walk into school, okay? So say this child, we're going to guess she's a B student, all right? We're going to give her a B student, okay? A B student will come in, 3.5, we'll bring her in, gets $40,000, which sounds like a big number. Let's break it down per semester. That $40,000 is $5,000 a semester, all right? So we got to get to $10,000, and she already has 5, okay? Hold on to that number. On top of that, for coming here to this session, she's getting $1,000, so that's $6,000, okay? She still needs 4 more thousand. If she says, I'm ready to go to school now, I pick Oakwood University, I'm going to put $200 down, she gets another $1,000. Now she's up to $7,000. We're not there yet, but she's gotten close, okay? She's $7,000, she got to get to $10,000. She start working day 1. She got an internship, guaranteed internship. She walks in, hey, I'm ready to work. She start working. She makes the entire $1,500, and I match it. 15 plus 15 is $3,000. 7 plus the $3,000 is 10. Did any money come out your pocket? The answer is no. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, no, you're welcome. You didn't take any money out your pocket, but your child is a B student. She got credit for that. You didn't take any money out, but your child is willing to work. Bam, more money. You see what I'm trying to say? You are a part of, that's just some of the scholarship. We didn't talk about the 3-way scholarship. We didn't talk about any other diversity scholarship. We're just saying that you have an opportunity for your child to walk out of your house, come to my school, sit in the class for $0 because she wants to work, because of her GPA. Now, let's go for the smart kids. Let's keep going. Your child is a 3.9 student, okay? Needs $10,000 to start classes. A 3.9 student gets $65,000. That's $8,125 per semester. So all she needs is a few more dollars to get there, okay? Come here, $1,000, right? That's $9,000 something. She's ready to go to school, $200? You can find $200. Put that in, she's over $10,000. And nothing came out of your pocket. So the total is more, I'm agreeing with you, but how to get there is cheaper. To get to high school here, Northeastern Academy, if you're paying that, I can get you to college. Think about that. Whatever you're paying for high school, if you go to those schools. So it's more money, but we have more scholarships available if they're willing to work. All right, you fair? We're good? I'm not hearing you saying uncle yet. No, yes or no? Are you good? Are you good? You see what I'm trying to say? Because you got all those other bills. You don't want to add to it, but you want to give her the opportunity. And we say, let's figure it out. But she just can't go, I ain't got no money, I'm not going to work. She can't do that. She doesn't have a mother that's going to sit home and do nothing. She has a mother that's working. She has a mother that's trying with other kids, so she got to man up, right? Get her big boots on and go, yes, I'm willing to work. Yes, I'm willing to go to school. Yes, I'm willing to try hard. If that's the case, we as a team work. Now, let's keep going on that scenario. Your child is calling you. Oh, Ma, this is killing me, right? I don't like the professor. What do you say? Did you get paid $25 an hour to be tutored? It's no longer a one-way. You know what we provide. You see what I'm trying to say? So you be on our team and go, yes, young lady, go get free tutoring. Make sure you get the support plan. If you're having a rough week, go talk to our disability guy. You see what I'm trying to say? You be a part of that struggle because she sees the struggle, she's going to try harder. And when she does graduate, she's not going to thank me. She's going to thank you for giving her the opportunity. You see what I'm trying to say? We just a facility. But you are going to give it a chance. And just say, worst case, we can't do it. And she goes to City College. Not a problem. We tried. Right? That's all I'm saying. Give it a chance. Because if for some reason your child get in jail, all of a sudden you're coming up with the money. Call Mary, you call Martha. We need this much to get her out. And she's out. Have that same mentality to get your kid in school. Huh? I hear you. Well, my point is, we're going to do it together is my point. Okay? Another question. Another question. I got a question right here.
Okay. Does this apply for students who are getting
I'm going to come to you because they want to hear.
I just want to know if this applies to students who are getting their masters. What if you didn't go to Oakwood for your bachelor's?
Going to give me the hard questions. A master's program, we have 4 master's programs. All our master's programs are online. All of them. All of them. So that means you don't have to leave your job. You don't got to pay for room and board. You just stay right here. And all your classes are online. So you get to have your master without leaving your house. Add to the master's. You started your bachelor's program and didn't finish. You started at City College, Queens College, wherever college you started and didn't finish. You could finish up at Oakwood all online. All online. And instead of having a full semester, I'm going to get to you in a second. Instead of having a full semester of 4 or 5 months, you go every 6 weeks. You take another class and you finish your undergrad faster online. So it's cheaper and it's online. And you get opportunities. Is that good? Well, before I'm gonna, yes?
No, you didn't give me numbers.
Numbers? Oh, you want me to, you want, oh. I could get that to you. I don't have it on top of my head. But I could get you the actual numbers. I deal with most of the kids that come out of high school. Are you thinking, are you staring me down? Man, I hate it. I don't have those on top of my head. I got to look it up. But we will do the same thing. It's cheaper for the master's program because you're not in school. You actually take it online. And they actually give you credit for a real job. For example, if you have a business job and you're getting your business degree, you get credit for your job. Okay? I what? No, we don't. Sorry. But I'm going to go to that lady. I'm going to get to you. I mean, this lady right here. Give it. Sorry. I like your pastor. I do. Here you go, man.
What about the person with their associate and going for your BSN?
I could answer that one. Okay. So I have 2 levels of that. So you're in high school and you go straight to college. We give you a maximum scholarship. That's the biggest scholarship pool. But like she said, suppose you went and got your associate degree and you only need 2 more years left. Oakwood has a transfer scholarship. If your GPA is high, you get $30,000. If your GPA is low, you got $20,000. You only get 3 years to finish when you transfer. So normally transfer, you get to 2 years, and then you transfer. It should take you 2, but we give you 3 years of scholarships to finish. Okay? So the people that do get the associates come, and they actually the higher rate of graduation is there because you already finished 2 years. If you make it through 2 years of college, you have a good chance to finish. You will bumble, stumble, and get to the finish line. You will. So yes, you do have, we have scholarship, but that is high. $65,000 for my people coming right out of high school, and I got $30,000 for them to finish up halfway. No, because you're still in the undergrad No, I can change that. If you go to the regular programs, you can. If you go to the LEAP program, you can finish up. So now you're not transferring, you're going to the LEAP program, and that's different. And that you could do online. And you don't have to finish your associates. As long as you finish a couple of years in any school in the world, you could finish in the LEAP program and do that. Fair? But if you want to transfer and be like a regular student, come dorm and hang out, we give you $30,000. I think I'm going to go to this young lady here. Pastor, did you like lose your job? I thought you would help me. Here you go.
All right, so I'm just going to keep it. All right, I'm going to get personal and keep my question simple. So my kid is 10. We just got here from Jamaica. I recently got baptized, and he got baptized here. When I got here, he's going to a public school. What I want for September is for him to start going to Adventist school. Because, all right, for whatever reason, I want him to be in a SDA school. So how can I get help financially for him to start September?
I'm looking at you. You know I'm looking at you. So he's 10. What grade? What grade is 10th grade? 5.
Grade 5.
So middle school. What are some of the middle schools you guys have here? I know it's
I'm
not high
thinking
school.
about Linden.
What middle schools do you guys? Adventist. But that's high school. Oh, there's a. Okay.
We have what we call the Queens campus of Northeastern Adventist Academy, and that is from grades 1 through 8, which includes middle school, because we don't have middle schools. We have the Queens campus, the Brooklyn campus. That's how we have it.
Okay. So she's gonna give you so she got the information now, and we're gonna try to figure out how to get her from where she is to that school, and then I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. I am glad you asked. I've been waiting to speak about my school, our school, all day long. Thank you for asking that. Our school right now are ensuring that all students from nursery to grade 8 attend our schools. As a result, the system, the churches, the organization, the conference, they come up with scholarship to support the parents to ensure that their children attend our school, and it's need-based. So parents will sign up for the scholarship, it's online, and then they will look at what you are capable of doing, and then they will provide you with the support. Many individuals from different churches have gotten the scholarship. And so therefore, for next school year, we want all parents to know that your children do not have to be anywhere else except for our school. And we will do anything in our power to ensure that your child remain in our school. Simply, the reason behind it is because I have been a teacher / a principal for 21 years. And I would tell you that our church members have the mentality to want to run away because they're embarrassed they cannot pay the tuition, whereas individuals who's not Adventist, regardless of what we say, regardless of how many letters we send that they are in arrear, they would tell us, I am not removing my child in the school, so please work with us. And majority of time, we do work with them, and their children wind up graduating in our school. And so the doors are opening for you to take your children back to us, and we will collectively come together to ensure that they get the education that they need. So you are looking for children from nursery to grade 8, Northeastern Adventist Academy Queens campus is available. You need students to be, again, from nursery to grade 8, we have the Brooklyn campus available. You want children to be in high school, we also have a high school campus available. We have a Queens campus available, which used to be Bethesda, but now it's Queens campus. And we have schools in Connecticut. We have schools in Brockton. We have schools in Boston. So we have school in different places so that our children get the support, the education that they are looking for. Scholarships are available. The churches are providing a 2.5% from their revenue to support the conferences. And so therefore, please come in numbers because we are ready for your children.
Make it real, people.
Also, if you're a member of this church, the Lebanon Seventh-day Adventist Church. If you're a member of Lebanon, once your child is enrolled in a Seventh-day Adventist elementary school, for the second semester, not the first, we do provide 1 month of tuition. The church writes that check. Why the second semester? We want to make sure that you're going there for the whole year. But we do give that. Now, it may seem small, except that a lot of our churches don't even give. So we give you at least 1 month's tuition, and we don't base it on how much you're paying with the scholarship. We base it, right now the school is $500 a month before scholarship, so we're giving them $500.
Another amen. I can't stress the amount of support that we're giving y'all. You think our parents had this? Kristen. Oh, thank you. Pastor, you got to substitute it. I like it.
Thank you. How do we get the information for the LEAP program that you mentioned?
You could send me an email. I'll give you my card.
Email address?
I'll leave my card with you. And you could pop me an email. We'll get that done. And it's easier because it's like every 6 weeks, and you stay right here. Question. Don't ask a hard one, girl. They've been beating me up.
So my question is, why is Oakwood not very selective? Like, most people associate like the quality or success of a school based on its acceptance rate. So I was just wondering why it's not very selective.
Okay, good point. What she's asking, is it an open door policy that we invite the whole world to our school? It is not an open door policy, but when you become an HBCU school, the government helps you. So if you had a lower than a 2.0 school, you couldn't go to a lot of schools. And the government said, hey, somebody got to do it. So what we do, they gave us money to have extra classes to give that person before they get into real school. So they'll come in, have 1 semester worth of what we call academic probation, and if they do well, they get in and bring it up to a 2.0. So we're open and we have funds available to help where other schools probably don't have it. We only have 107 HBU schools. So we have a little extra, like what school could pay you to be tutored? Come on. So those are the kind of things that they give us, knowing that the student just need an opportunity. And that's why our dorms will fill up. So obviously there's only so much we can have. We're not going to let everybody in, but I think we're more open because of that reason. Does that answer your question? Oh, no. I started off that way. I said, we get the tops. The 13-year-old could have went anywhere in the world. The WNBA said, I'm going to pay any tuition that she wanted, and she chose Oakwood. Our STEM program is the best. Our medical program, they come and they accept you after 2 years. Normally you go 4 years, and then they choose you. After 2 years, they go, oh, we want to pick that person because it's so high. Our program, in Alabama, they give 6 scholarships away for our medical school, 6. Oakwood got 5 out of 6. That's how strong we are. We're the 5th leading college to send black kids to medical school. 5th, and we're so small, right? Normally come back, shh. Normally, in your undergrad program, you get pre-med. You get to medical school, and you get to cut up bodies. At Oakwood, during your pre-med, we got 4 dead bodies, 4 cadavers every single year for you to cut up. So by the time you walk into med school, been there, done that, already cut people up for the last 3 years. You see what I'm trying to say? So they're better prepared. So we push the other end. The reason why we give so much scholarship is because I'm looking for my 4.0 students, right? I'm looking for the high, and I drag everybody else in. You see what I'm trying to say? Just because we give opportunity don't mean that we ain't focused. That's all we, remember, we got a basketball team, but they're not the tops. We don't have a football team. We play athletics, but we do academics first. So we do push. You can't, if there's 41 students in medical school, the pre-med program, you can't get a C and go, I'm done. The professor knows you. You got to retake that. If you're in my dorms and you decide not to go to class, the dean's going to knock on your door. He knows you. It's 1,600 students for the whole campus, 1,600. That's not a lot. You can't get lost. So it is more structured, and because of that, we get to cater to these kids, right? It's very rare your mama could call and say, go find my child. They could do that at Oakwood. You see what I mean? So we do cater to the high end, but we drag the other ones in for opportunity. Okay? We good? Okay. Next question. Oh.
What advice?
No, let him come. I like him.
What advice would you give to a child whose life, a young child, revolves around?
No pressure, kid. Right at you, she pointed.
His life revolves around basketball.
Okay.
Eating, drinking, morning, noon,
Yep.
and night.
You
He
cannot,
thinks-
that's okay. You can't stop somebody's passion. Our boys' dorm has a basketball court behind it. And these boys will play all night. So what we did, we thought we were doing a good job. We shut the lights off after a while. What they did, they got their cars, put their cars around the court, and turned the lights on. That's creative. I like that. Shh, we're not done yet. So we go to the next level. We screw off the rims. So whatever step they take, we take a next step up. Now, he got to play basketball, which is okay. He can't play if he ain't in college. He got to go to college. One and done. I don't care what you could be the best basketball player. The NBA said you cannot come unless you go to 1 year college. So he could do whatever he wants. He got to go to college.
Okay.
And I'm there for that part of it.
Got
Fair?
an answer.
Answer your book, baby. What else you got? That's it?
Yeah, that's
That's it. All right. Well, he has a question. Now I'm getting nervous. The kids are asking now. Oof. Okay, kid, come on. What you got?
So what time do you guys put the lights out?
Okay, good point. He asks, what time do we put the lights off? Curfew is about midnight. So they put a... Understand where my picture is, right? So now my kids are on campus playing basketball. They're not in a club. They're not hanging out on the street. So I don't mind them being right next to the door and playing ball. You see what I'm trying to say? You have to pull yourself back. We compare our kids with perfection, right? He's not on the street shooting people up. He's playing basketball right there. Now say, keep going. You're out there playing late. You don't show up to class the next day. Now we have a problem. You see what I'm trying to say? But I'm willing to let you do what you need to do if you take care of my business, right? We have this thing called early alert. That means if you fail an exam, light comes on, everybody knows. If you miss classes, boom, we know. We're not going to let you fail and oops, we don't know how he failed. Oh, we know. So if you could stay up and play and do your homework, you got it, kid. I got you. But you got to get to a point where you do your part and let me do my part. Fair? All right. Go ahead. One more. Is that your mother? She bossing you around. Why is she bossing you around? Go ahead.
He wants to do it professionally.
Okay.
And he says, Adventist, whatever.
That's fine.
I don't really promote,
That's fine.
The basketball thing, whatever.
Yep, that's fine.
Say. So what advice would you give to him?
Our basketball team is this. This kid, I want to play basketball at Oakwood. I said, no problem, let's go try out, right? We brought him in the gym when they were doing the tryouts, and the coach said, whoever could dunk the ball, you're on this side. If you can't dunk the ball, you're on this side. So if he got skills and he on that side, good. But if he's on this side and talking smack, he's going to do something else. So we do take the ball seriously. We had a tournament last year in Detroit, tough Detroit, The coach put 6 guys in a car, took them up to Detroit, and won the tournament and came back. So we take it seriously, right? So if you want to bring your A game, I'm saying bring it. I'm not going to stop your dreams, but you're not going to not study. You see what I'm trying to say? I would never cut your dreams down because you can actually make it one day. I'm like, I'm not going to be the one that's stopping you. My daughter is 2 for 2. I say that, but she's short. My daughter was the MVP basketball player of Lancaster, Mass. She's 2 for 2, little old tiny rat. I'm going to go to the WNBA. I'm not going to stop her. She goes to Oakwood. She makes the team. She's up at 5 in the morning, practicing, getting to work. She's still a 4.0 student. But she gonna do her, I'm not gonna stop her dreams. It's her senior year now, and she didn't play this year. But just say I stopped it. Just ask her, girl, you're too small, you shouldn't be playing. If I did that, she'd be all over me. But because I backed away, she studied extra. She got up at 5 in the morning, like everybody else is sleeping, she's up. The girl stopped practicing at 6:30. She's at work, she's at class. So if you're willing to sacrifice, go for it, kiddo. But you're not gonna not do your schoolwork. Not gonna happen. You see what I'm trying to say? You're not, because you only have a window to be a great basketball player. Go for it, come on. Because that passion, okay, I play music. I have no passion for music. I play because somebody needs me to play. But there's people that will play no matter what. They will go there and practice. It's not me. Don't stop somebody's passion. Just because I play don't mean I got no passion for music. I would drive from here to California with no music on the radio. But I play the piano. They need me, but I have no passion. If your passion gets you up at 5 in the morning and you study, and rather than hanging out with some crackhead, go for it. Go for it. I'm going to back away and let you do it. All right? And I'll even push your curfew to 1 if you want to practice that hard. What other questions? Oh, we got 2 questions on the same table. You have a baby. You get first. I don't care about. Give the baby. Oh, yeah, give it to her first. Go ahead.
My question is, can you just explain how what Oakwood has to offer in regards to business and finance, and how it might compare to other colleges, such as MIT or the more common or known colleges?
Good point. Business is a very cutthroat thing. Business is competitive because you want an edge. So you would dock your books up, you would do a lot of stuff. But our business program, we marry it with something. Marry it with entrepreneurship. Marry it with finance. The best building on campus is our business building because business people got money. No matter what, if you want to be a hairstylist, I want you to be the best hairstylist possible, but I want you to run the business. You see what I'm trying to say? I owned a restaurant when I was here, but I can't cook. I don't want to own a restaurant. I want to run the business. You see what I'm trying to say? I can't cook, but I ran the business. So our people are a little bit more honest. Our people go for it because they know that it's more than just money. It's setting an example, say you can do it. So we push them. We let them come with entrepreneurship on the spot. They get to shadow other business people, right? If you are in a business and you could walk up the street to NASA and you shadowing the guy that runs the space program, you're going to be a better business person, right? All these little companies that's coming into Huntsville is opportunities for us to have our people touch them, right? We not only have the Toyota and Mazda dealership, they actually design and build them right there in Huntsville. For you to be around that business model, come on. When you come back to New York, let me tell you how it's done. You see what I'm trying to say? So our attitude is you get that internship and you do those things so when you come back to your town, you got it. You got not only a piece of paper, you got experience to say, here's what I just saw. And that's how we make our kids better than other kids. Fair? Okay. Put the baby down. The baby ain't got no job. Yeah, no job. I need to be, come on. These kids, no job. This is the best life. They ain't appreciative. They wake up whatever they want. They beg for food. I could do whatever the baby could do, girl. Come on. How old is the baby? You paused. I'm concerned. I'm only kidding. Young lady on the right. What do you want?
My question is similar, where you spoke a lot about the medical program. I was just wondering if you could speak on their law program or their
Good question. Let me breathe through this. The law program, the pre-law program actually, has 100% success rate. Oh, let me say it again. Our pre-law department has 100% success rate. Either they go to law school or get a job. 100%. So if you come into the law program and fail, you'll be the first. Oh, bring it, girl. Bring it. Our chemistry program is the same thing. How do you get 100%? Because you have less kids and more focused. Think about 100%. I laughed when she told me that. I laughed. Because you don't have to be in law school to be a lawyer. Your major could be English, and you could still take the bar. Your major could be history, but the pre-law program, no joke. They got pictures of people standing beside Biden. What else you got? Because in that environment, trust is number one. You don't trust a half-Christian, or you're going to trust somebody that you don't know. Trust. Them law students are on point. They rub elbows with big dogs. 100%. Bring your A game. Bring your A game. Question.
So if I were to major in psychology, what would that be like?
Okay. It's a different mindset. There's two majors that I consider, actually three majors that I consider passion. My religion students is a passion, it's a call-in. My psychology student and my social work students. To me, that's a call-in. You had to want that. You got to go 5 years for that. You can't stop with your bachelor's and drop the mic. You got to go for your master's. But that kind of job, you take it with you. When you leave work as a psychologist and a social worker, you can't brush it off. That's a calling to me, so we worship those kids. Anything extra they need, we give them, because we don't have a lot of them. That and teachers, that's number 4, teachers. We did a study across the entire United States, less teachers, less social workers, less psychologists. You see what I'm trying to say? Because that's a passion. Those jobs, we make sure that you guys be the best possible, because a lot of people change their minds. You know, so do what you got to do. No, before I go to you, did that answer your question? That's a serious job. I mean, that's whatever you need, let us know. Because for somebody to say, you know, I'm a math major, I'm having a rough time, if my social worker, my psychologist, people say I have a problem, I listen. Because they do have a problem. They have other people's problems, okay? So you get a little bit more care and a little bit more leniency to get through that program, okay? Question.
You mentioned 5 years for psychology?
No. Sorry. 4 years for a bachelor's, but you got to get your master's to make money.
Right, okay.
A 4-year degree in social work, you get a bachelor's, you're going to make $2. You got to get your master's in social work. And we push that from day one to let them know you're in a special field, go get your master's, don't even think twice. Like as an engineer, I had a job during college. After 2 years, I had a job. At 2 years, I had a job as an engineer. But I couldn't do that as a good social worker or a psychology major. I'm trying to say won't hire you. But you go and you get your hours in, you get your master's, pay me my money. That's what I meant. Is that clearer? Okay. Another question. Oh, he's coming around for a twofer. I like that. That means you're paying attention, kid. I like it. It's nice when you engage the kids. You get a different viewpoint. They ask questions like, you're like, what? Go ahead, son.
How is Oakwood different from other colleges, and how fast can you get your degree?
Okay, first you got to define, what do you mean different? Give me an example. Different in what way? What are you looking for? When you say different, to me, it could be different because the amount of kids, it could be different because of the attitude. Anything you're thinking about, or just in general?
Like how fast you get your degree.
Let me answer that one first. Okay, so you start school in August. You finish school in November. Thanksgiving, you're done. Semester's over. You don't go back to school until January, okay? Between November, Thanksgiving, and January, we threw a semester in there. So you could go down to Oakwood, take that first semester, come back to New York and Thanksgiving, and take 2 classes online. Think about that. So you go back in the spring, you're up 2 classes because you went home and took a class. Also, the spring semester and that mini semester is 1. So you pay the same amount of money from 12 to 16 credits. So you could take 6 credits during the mini semester and 10 credits during the spring for the same cost. But if you want to go ahead, like my young man says, you could take 2 classes during the winter break, go back and take your full load. Now you're ahead in the first year. Now we're not done yet. Now you're doing the summer class. You come home in April. Let that fester in your little brains. You're done in April. Next month they're done. You finish in April, you come back home, there's 2 summer sessions that start in May. So now you have 2 semesters. So now you can take 6 credits, actually 6, you can take 12 credits during the summer while you're home. Now you got 2 years into 1 year. Oh, you're welcome. It's good for the kids that want to move forward. But it's also good for the kids that, oops, I messed up an English class. I take it during the break. By the time I go back during the spring, I caught up. You see what I mean? Right? So those opportunities will be given to you so you can finish the classes early. Is that good enough? Okay, now you wanted what's different. That's a little harder.
How are the dorms organization different from other colleges?
The dorms. Let me answer that in a male and female role. Okay, so my girls mature in a year. If I talk to an incoming freshman today, and I talk to that same young lady at the end of a freshman year, I see maturity. You ask, how do I define that? I define maturity by how much vomit they do against how much solution they give me. For example, they walk in, I hate the teacher, the class was too early, they're killing me. 2, I hate the teacher, so I switched. Oh, I was having problems with math. I got a tutor, right? I'm not sure what I want to do with my life. It's just killing me. Oh, I took a test, and they gave me 3 options, and I got an internship. You see the maturity difference? One is vomit, and vomit only. But at the end of the semester, they come around, and they tell me solutions to their problems. You see what I mean? To me, that's maturity. My boys will take 2 years to do that. It's just different. My boys will take a little longer to get it, but my girls, I could tell the difference in that 1 year, okay? So when you say dorm life, we cater a little bit to the girls. For example, the little girls' dorm, the windows are sealed. The only dormitory with sealed windows is the baby girl dormitories. They were sneaking out the 3rd floor. My boys, the doors are open, they don't sneak out because they're silly. We ain't got no sense. We don't come up with solutions. 2 young ladies. All right, so some of the format is this. You have 2 girls in this room. You have a bathroom in the middle and 2 more girls. So the RA goes from one room to another room to check to see if they're there. So 2 girls will be in the room, in the bed. She counts 1, 2. She goes into the other door, and they sneak through the bathroom. And the 2 girls lay in these 2 beds. She goes 3 and 4. Everybody's here. But there was only 2 girls there. The other 2 was on the street. That's creative. How did they get from the 3rd floor? That's creative. She said she walked into the dorm room, and this girl had a wig, a body pillow, just perfectly matched. Not to the point where she had shoes, like little socks on the outside, hanging down the bottom, like she was there. And she checked her off that she was in a room. My boys are not that smart. We're not that. So those doors, we seal them. If I can't find my girls in 3-4 hours, I shut the whole campus down and check them. My boys could be gone for 8 hours. They'll come back. We treat them differently. We make sure them girls get whatever they want. You could walk through Walmart. You hear a little girl scream, oh, let's find her, right? A little boy scream, where's the mother? Get that. It's a different mindset when boys scream. Girls scream, we shut it down. We just shut it down. So as far as a dormitory, we treat them differently, and that's just out of respect. That's out of respect. But you could tell the difference. My sophomore girls, you can't touch them. They got their heads up. No dog could talk no garbage to them anymore because they made it through 1 year of college, right? Their bar gets lifted up. They're not going to settle for no nonsense anymore. That's why I got to get them through that first year. Fair? Answer your question, or you want me more? You want more? No? Wait. He wants more? I did like a dissertation? Okay, ask me another question then.
So, how many people are in a dorm at one time?
Okay. For my freshmen, I get about 450 freshmen every year. Boys in the boys' dorm, girls in the girls' dorm. I'm answering two questions at one time. We don't have a co-ed dorm. So I have about 450 freshmen every single year. But remember, there's 1,600 total, but my big girls and my big boys, they either on campus in the nice apartments. Like my daughter, she's been in her nice apartment since she was a sophomore. Once you get in, you never leave the nice apartments. And there's some of them that stay off campus. But on the dorm, my freshmen and my sophomores are usually on the dorm, and we got about 450 new people. Your freshmen come in a week before school starts. So your freshmen come in, they get orientation, they find their classes, they do stuff, and then other kids come the next week, and then they start classes. That's it? One more. Go ahead, speak. Go ahead, I got you. You're actually thinking about a question to ask me. You had it? Okay, I'm going to come back to you because you're starting to scare me now. How old are you, son?
13.
How old are you?
13.
Speak into the mic.
13.
13, what grade are you in?
8th.
8th? What do you want to be when you grow up? If you don't know, say you don't know. What do you want to be when you grow up? Bring the mic up and say something. What do you want to be? If you don't know, that's okay. Let me ask you another question. Do you like math over English?
Math.
Okay, good. Do you think you're creative as far as building something, or you just want to read about it? Book or creativity?
Creative.
Creative? Okay. We have a tool called Focus 2, and it asks you questions for 15 minutes, and then spits out 3 good majors for you. So we got things, but you're in the 8th grade, you got options. But when you switch now to high school, because high school started in 9th grade for you guys too, everything before that wipes away. So you're preparing yourself, study habits, so when you get to high school. So just keep at it. I like your attitude, though. If you think of something, let me know. Give the mic back. Why am I bothered? Give the mic back. Yes. But think about something else. I'll bring it back to you. Any other questions? Oh, question in the back. Where's my runner guy? Pastor, you handed your job off to somebody, and then now they just walked away? You want to, her and then, you give it to the girl. We got to keep an eye on you. I'm going to answer a question, then give the same mic. Oh, now I like that. Now you're going to help me. Go ahead.
Do you guys accept AP credits?
Ooh. For the rest of the audience, I want you to tell me what AP credit means.
AP it stands for Advanced Placement, where in high school you can take AP classes, and then if you pass the test with a 3 or higher, well, depending on the college, some schools want the 3 or the 4 or the 5, and it can be equivalent to college credit.
Oh, that's my smart girl. So during high school, you take these classes to move ahead. Now, she comes in and has an AP English. So her AP English is a substitute for English 1. So now she will go straight into English 2, right? We don't give her an academic grade for that class, but she goes from English 1 on her first semester to English 2. So we do take them, and we let them advance faster. They don't bring their grades in, but they bring the acknowledgement that they could skip a grade. For my smart students, don't ever think a 4.0 student won't hit the wall. So I try not to burden them too much. They come in like brilliant, just like ready to go. But I ease them back that first semester because it's a new environment. In high school, she goes from period 1 to period 2 to period 3. Somebody's coaxing her along all the way until she gets home. She gets into college, she has a class at 8 o'clock. Her next class is until 12 o'clock. You see what I mean? So she has to adapt to that. So I don't try to burden them too much on that first semester. So she comes in, she's taking English 2, and other people taking English 1. All her friends are going to hang out. She can't do that because she got English 2. So I try to balance them when they come in that smart and let them have one good semester. And now that grade becomes their college grade. So she's now smart in college. And then a second semester, I bounce her up. But good question, and yes. And we try to encourage the smart people in, but we don't let them hit the wall. Because a lot of my 4.0 students hit the wall because they're not used to college environment. Fair? And another little point on that. A smart person in high school don't have to study hard. So for them to go in and now have to study hard, it's like, whoa. So we try to balance them. Because she could come in, hit the wall, get a low GPA. Our other person got a B student, come in and got good study habits, busted out. He just leaps over her, and that really is my smart girl. So the next semester, she catches up. You see what I mean? So we try to give them that sense of purpose, but also learn the growth is just as important to us as the academics. Fair? Good question. The guy in the back.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, does Oakwood offer classes like computer programming or coding, things like that?
You said, I heard computer program. I didn't hear the second one.
Does Oakwood offer classes like computer programming or coding?
Yes. Coding, okay, yes. I'm a computer engineer. A coding class is computer science. So my daughter, my big daughter, is in computer science. So she will take computer programming and she will take coding. We try to marry you with a company that's doing the work. So there are professors that teach you. They teach you from knowledge, and there are professors that teach you from experience. So what we do is in the evening classes, we'll have somebody that's doing a program for Toyota to come to the school and teach you. So you get the practical and you get the book knowledge, okay? Programming changes. Like when I did programming, you did all this stuff manually. Now we wrote programs to help you program. So you tell us concept and we write it for you, but you need the concepts. So we will give you a realized concept. The guy's working at Toyota. He's designing a new flow system. He puts it together and you're part of that, okay? He's working in NASA, and during the summer we have a program where you come into Oakland University for a week, and that programmer from NASA sit with you and do programs with you and show you how to do research. Sometimes, so it's more hands-on. My STEM people get extra help because the community help them out. They come. We have 2 programs in the summer, one just for females and one for both females and male. They come in, and if they get into that program, the bridge program, every semester they get $1,500 extra, every semester. And think about it. I'm a professor. I'm doing a particular research, and you're helping me. Your name gets printed in my book. So when you walk out of the school, you get a piece of paper, your name is in a book, and you have experience. You see what I mean? Did I answer your question? Oh, I like when I answer the question. Woman, there's a limit to the amount. No, where's my helper? Oh, I love him. Switch it over to that young lady right there.
I have 2 questions.
You have 3 questions?
I have
You said
2
3?
I have
I'm
2
now
questions.
a genie? Really, 3?
I have 2 questions.
What we got?
Is there an athletic scholarship?
Speak up.
Do you have an athletic scholarship? And if I were to major in zoology, what would that be like?
Zoology. You said zoology. Yeah. Zoology is still under what we call medicine or, veterinarian, right? Zoology is actually a specialized degree. So you actually have to go and take a special test to be a zoologist. They'll send you places and you have to run the zoo. There's a bunch of things that come with it. So there's no degree called zoology where we are. But you get the information, then you go there and you finish up. Does that make sense? Because zoology is very specialized. There's not many. It's like, what's the other job? Mortician. There's no mortician degree. You have to get a degree, and then that's like a long wait list. That's a specialized thing. The zoology is the same thing. All right, that question number 1.
Do you guys have an athletic scholarship?
Athletic scholarship. Okay. I told you our focus is school. So our athletic scholarship is our job scholarship. The regular job, the internship, you work for $1,500 and we match it for $1,500. If you're an athlete, you play for $1,500 and we match it. It's the same scholarship because your work is your practice. Your work is your tryouts. Your work is actually playing. That make sense? Okay, next question. I thought you had 3. You only had 2? Oh, I like 2. Okay. Any more questions? Before we go ahead, do you see what goes through a child's mind? It's real questions. And as an adult, we have to get them prepared. The high school get them prepared for that. Baby girl is smart. That's why she's asking questions. You know what I'm trying to say? Because somebody prepared her. That's what you want. You want your child to be ready so she asks good questions when she gets to college. We don't create good college students. We get the good high school student and magnify it. Fair? Anybody else with a question?
Can you tell them about the accreditation that Oakwood just went through?
She is just pumping me for information. She wants to let you guys know about accreditation. Every 10 years, you go in and you get accredited. We just passed our accreditation last week. They sent the note out, so we're accredited for the next 10 years. It's a big deal because it's a proof that we're doing well. Usually you pass at 80%. We got 99%. 99%. Nobody ever wanted to give you 100. A good teacher never gives you 100. Never. They will pick, and they did, they picked, and they gave us 99%. We could have argued, but who argues with 99? Man, I got a 99, I'm mad. We got a 99%, so we got another 10 years to go in accreditation. Thanks for asking that.
To answer that question as well, the elementary schools also go through accreditation, and ours is coming up in April, and we usually get it for 6 years as well. So when they come in, the AAA, AAA, North American Division, the Union, the conference, then they oversee everything that we do in the school, and we get all stakeholders involved to ensure that the school is operating the way it should. And then from there, we get our 6 years accreditation. If we don't, then they will come back probably 2 years later, and then ensuring that all the data, everything is done, and they give us the green light to continue.
Don't ever think that we just do this under the belt. We just do whatever you want. There's bodies above us that verify what we do. We can't tell you that we're doing good. Other people will. And the accreditation is a process so that if anybody ever say, well, you Adventist, y'all, we don't do whatever we do. There are guidelines that we have to follow so that your child is in a good place, your child is progressing accordingly, and we're doing what we say we're going to do. And that's what she's trying to help them. Okay? Another question. Go ahead.
The accreditation process, how does that work? Do they match you up with other universities just to make sure that you are on par, above par? What does that look like?
So each level has a list of criteria. If I produce English, I got to do this. If I say I teach math, I got to do this. My teacher's got to be a certain level. If my PhD is in math, I can't go and teach an English class. I'm not qualified, right? It's one to make sure that I didn't get the elder to go teach a class that I should have got somebody else to do. There's a list of criteria for all the schools. Each state has mandates. So they make sure we're following the mandates. You see what I'm trying to say? They already have their list. This is what they should be doing, and they match you up to that. And if you don't, you got to fix it. We got to come back and correct it in 2 years. But if you pass, 6 years for them, 10 years for us. But there's a list. Each state has a board. For example, if you got a high school diploma in the state of New York, that high school gets sent to the board of every high school diploma gets sent there. All your transcript gets sent to that over the body that actually runs you. And they get credited according to that. Every single 6 years, like she mentioned. Is that good? Perfect. Next question? Oh, so because you're carrying a baby, that means you get to have 100 questions? That's fine. Anybody else in the back? Are you pointing at somebody?
She wants to know if Oakwood has architecture.
Ooh, good point. I'm going to answer that. I'm going to come back to you, okay? Architectural comes in 2 flavors. There's an architectural engineer that makes sure the building has enough. For example, a supporting beam. There's no supporting beam in this entire thing. Nothing's going on in the middle. So an architectural makes sure that the supporting beams across, it can support the whole building. Then there's a design architecture that actually design the type of buildings you want. So the design one is come under what they call graphic design, and the other one is under engineering. So first you got to figure out what part do you want. Do you want to make sure it's structurally sound, or does that look pretty? And that's architecture, go both ways. So we have both. Okay. The person that asked, how old are they? I don't know who asked the question. Raise your hand if you asked the question. Which one? Who asked the question? In the back? Oh, she's not even a student. Can I beat her? Okay, all right. So we won't ask you your age. I'm fine. I thought one of the kids did. But yeah, we have both. But did you understand the both? Yes? Okay, perfect. I've got a question over here, I thought. No? Okay. So come forward. Boy, are you sitting down on a job? Oh, I'm not paying you. It's okay. Sit down. Give it to the young lady right there.
My question was, does Oakwood still have a time of year where high school students come and look at the college? I know I'm a little up in age, but back in the day, they used to.
Yeah. 1804, but yeah, back in the day.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, okay, all right, a few years back. Yeah, it used to be called College Day, and then we had COVID, and we changed the name to Oakwood Live. But it was live when we had college days, but because we had it virtual for a few years, we changed the name to Oakwood Live. So when I got there, we had one, and then we had COVID, and then we had another one. So we had 400 people at the one we had for last year. The president said, Chris, could you give me 450? I'm like, I'll try. I got him 800 students this year. 800 students. And everybody got on stage, oh, this is the best program ever. And then they saw the bill. Chris! We had 800 students coming to Oakwood because success attracts success, okay? If we weren't doing well, not passing our accreditation, who wants to go there? But after you get a role going and people see, I want to be a part of that, you want to be the dumbest one with the smart people. And we got a whole bunch of smart people. So now it's gotten bigger, and next year they got to figure out what they're going to do. But we do have it, and it's bigger. We had the kids put up in hotels last year. We used to, before, they have them in the dorms because, you get a dorm experience, but after COVID, we decided to pull them out. Next year, the president's still trying to figure out how we're going to do it. But 800 is a lot of kids in one place, but they had such a good time, October, the first week in October, it's usually from a Wednesday to Saturday. There's like basketball games, there's other things too, but we try to get them locked in, meaning look at a school, talk to your professor, talk to your advisor, see what it is to really be in college. Because in high school, there's a difference. The mindset is different. Nobody's hanging. Your mother makes sure you get up and get out the house. When you get home, somebody's gonna feed you. It's against the law not to feed you. We have to love you. In college, if you don't eat, whatever. Work it out. You know what I mean? If you don't show up to class, you know what I mean? You have to take more sense of responsibility, and that's what we're trying to teach your kids when they come to the Oakwood Live. Okay, a question for the young man right there. Go ahead.
How does Oakwood rate or perform or match up with Howard and other black universities?
Okay, let me just repeat it. So you want to know how we rate with other schools, right? Other HBCU?
Yes.
Okay, we're good at that. HBCU schools, we were the top 5 in the state of Alabama. Alabama has more HBCU schools in the entire world because it's only the entire United States. We were, whenever you're a Christian environment and a smaller one, you have an edge. Right? If we rate number 5 in the entire United States, putting kids in med school, we rate high. You see what I'm trying to say? Our math department got rated number 12 in the entire United States. So in Alabama, we good. And that's regular. That's not with HBCUs. So we always rate higher in HBCU schools because we have stuff that they don't have. We have a small environment. We don't have a frat house. We don't have, a lot of this, what's those frat things, CNS? What is it? Yeah, fraternities, sororities. We don't have a lot of that because our environment is not conducive to that. You see what I'm trying to say? So we're not going to rate high in that part of it. We don't have a big football team. Alabama has the best football team in the world. We're not going to compete with that. So if you're looking for that kind of activity, we don't rank high at all. But academics, care, support, number 1. That's what we provide. And I think because of that, the young lady asked the question, why do we cater to the kids that are not doing well? Does that mean the majority of our kids are that way? No. If I bring those kids in around smart kids, they get smarter. right? So we have an environment. I keep bringing back my 13-year-old, but she could have went anywhere because the support is there, right? So you want to attract the smart kids and don't leave out the kids that are struggling. Does that make sense? Okay. Go back there. I'm good. Are you drinking on the job again? What are you doing? Go ahead, young lady.
What would you say to a student who has never experienced the South? They were born and bred in the North.
Good point.
They have not experienced the South at all.
Good point.
And all they hear or all they see are things that are not so favorable to other people who look like them.
Good question. Good question. Okay. If I dropped you in Huntsville, not in Alabama, if I dropped you in Huntsville, it would look like this. There are places in Huntsville that look like Greenwich Village because 65% of the people in Huntsville is from other states. They closed down most of the Air Force and Army bases, and they kept open the one in Huntsville. SpaceX, which is the largest group that sends people to the moon now, is in Huntsville. They brought 50% of their people. Toyota and Mazda, they built the stuff there. That means they brought 50% of their people. So your Huntsville experience is not your Alabama experience. Your Huntsville, I would have never thought I would end up in Huntsville. Never, because I lived in Paris, Spain, right? I did Japan, I did LA, I did New York, and then never once I said, you know, I'm gonna go to Huntsville. Never once, but I'm there. And I thought I wasn't gonna like it. But there is non-Southern people in Huntsville. Somebody said the fastest growing city in America. It was voted the #1 city to live in because of jobs, because of no longer that racial thing, but that's Huntsville. That's not Alabama. Now, when you say, I want my kids to be in an environment that's conducive to them, they're in Huntsville. But they're aware of Alabama. If you survive in Huntsville, white people don't threaten you anymore because there's more of you in Huntsville. Your mindset changes. You will never change a racist. I lived up in Lancaster. I live in Lancaster. I was helping them at AUC when it was open. So it's my house, another house, there's a driveway in between us, and then on the other side is another driveway that I share. So now I'm there. I never looked for a job. Therefore, no one knew about my degrees. I just say I'm going to help out. So I became just a regular old Chris. Hi, everybody doing? I did that for 6 months, and nobody knew. Nobody knew any degrees. The minute they went through and checked my records and, ooh, he's a doctor. I didn't tell nobody nothing. HR decided to tell somebody. My neighbor decided to put a line down the middle of my driveway. Now, he lived around white people. He didn't do that. And he lived around me when he didn't realize I was a doctor. And now, all of a sudden, he gonna put a line down the middle of the road. Now, I'm not a yellow screamer fighter. That's just what I do. I came home and I saw the line. The first thing that hit me, what am I gonna tell my kids? What am I gonna tell my kids? That this guy decided now that I'm a little bit above him academically, he don't want nothing to do with me. I went and I spoke to him. I said, sir, you're an Adventist, because they're both Adventists. If I have to drag you to heaven, I'm going to drag you to heaven. I will not be like you, but I'm not going to have you disrespect me and my family, and I'm still going to like you. Still going to like you. So I would kindly appreciate if you remove the line, because you live beside white folks. You didn't do that. I've been here how long? Did I threaten you? Remember, they're afraid of our minds, not our physical body. That man had to remove that line. Because I couldn't say that. What am I going to tell my child? What am I going to tell my child? That some guy decided that, ooh, Chris got a degree, all of a sudden he ain't my friend no more? My kids can't understand that. So he removed the line. And today, still, I try to save that man. But I know he thinks like that. And when Trump decided to win, the guy on the next side, oh, he's now talking all kind of smack to me. But it's not going to stop me. It is not going to stop me. I refuse to be like somebody and act, because they want to poke you until you act stupid. They want to poke you until you act stupid. I'm not going to get to that point. And I refuse to, and I'm hoping my people won't do it, my kids. Another quick story. So I'm driving with the other student, and the police pulls me over, and the kid puts his hand on the visor. I'm like, he is a college student, and he's already afraid of a police. They done got to a point where they can't, I told him, put your hands down. We're going to talk to him like a regular person. And I told them, and the man said, go ahead, son. Because we've stained ourselves because of the media. And I do not want that to stigmatize my kids. So we're getting better. I'm not going to justify it, because when that January 6th things happened, look where they came from. Alabama. Right? They have to come back home now. So I don't mind them standing up for their rights, because somehow they think that they're the minorities now. Good luck with that, but you will not stigmatize my kids. You will not do that. They're going to get an education and show you it's possible. So I know it exists, but just like anywhere else, we will stand up. But Huntsville itself, no problem at all. You're welcome. Question again.
My daughter went to Oakwood College, and I said to her, what is the standard of Christianity at Oakwood College? And she said, anything you can find in any other university, you can find at Oakwood College. So I said, drugs? She says, yes. Yep. Smoking, everything? She says, yes. Yep. I started to question her about the list of things. So I said, well, where do you sit in all of this? She said, well, you sent me to West Indies College, wasn't the university then, and I went from there to Oakwood College. I don't need you to tell me anything else. Here's my question. How do you handle all of that?
Think about that. You have a church here in Queens. Is this still Queens? Okay, you have a church in Queens, and you're recruiting people from the Queens area. Who do you let into your doors? Anybody. Who do you let into your doors? You think somebody here is not smoking? You think somebody here is not doing drugs? You open up your door to have change. But the problem is this. If somebody came in this church, sat at this pew and started to smoke, they would feel out of place. Because it's not normal. You will find it, but it's not normal. So if you're in an environment that you know it's not normal, the other people are more. And eventually you either change or leave. So I can't stop everything from happening on my campus, but I guarantee you, you can't do it as much as up the street at Alabama A&M. You cannot come, you will get caught. What's that guy, Little Richard? Little Richard is from California. I was there with him for a while. And when I got back to California, I met him there again. So I asked him, hey, you're on the East Coast for a while. What happened? He said, I didn't feel comfortable. You see what I'm trying to say? Because this environment is not conducive to his little stuff. So that person that's there, I guarantee they're sneaking around. I guarantee it's not open, right? And I guarantee that hopefully they will change or they will have to leave. You cannot do something that negative on a campus and not get a spotlight on. We have facial recognition. If you walk into a door, we check your temperature and the facial recognition know who you are. You can't sneak and smoke something anymore. We know exactly who you are, and we have video to prove it. So it's a little different environment, being that we take that serious, but Alabama A&M don't take it serious at all, right? So we're not saying it's a perfect environment. I was in Barbados, and this old lady said, you know, I heard at Oakwood, when you walk down the street, the Aeolians sing, and Ellen G. White just walks around and touches everybody, and it's a melodious campus. I'm like, that's your impression of Oakwood? Think about when we make signs of Jesus. He got the halo behind him. He's cleanly dressed. You think a guy walking up and down the desert is cleanly dressed? Our imagination of perfection is always on things. And we're saying that the scars are there, that's real. That's why God chose us as the disciples. But hopefully we'll set an example so that person will either move or change. You see what I mean? If I want my child to be in the safest environment, not the perfect environment, there's no bubble left. There's none. But we treat it a little harsher because it's not normal. It'll be blasted all over the place if they did it, right? So it's not perfect, but I guarantee it's a better environment than a lot of things. Understand? Did you answer that? Okay. I didn't answer it. Okay, ask it again. I'm not going to give up. If I didn't answer it, answer again. Smooth? No. It's real. I told you. There are things happening on campus just like anywhere else, but it's not as ballooned up as something else, Pastor.
I need you to know that just as much as it is not a pristine environment at Oakwood, I went to Andrews, and the highest rate of abortion in the state of Michigan is in Southwest Michigan, right where Andrews is. Does that make Andrews a bad university? No, it's not.
And I'm not whitewashing. I'm saying things happen. And we have to address it like everybody else. But what I'm saying is that we handle it as much as we can, and we keep that out of our campus as much as we can. This is what I'm trying to say. We do the best we can.
But as an educator and administrator in the Adventist organization, and I think people have this misconception that our schools are perfect and nothing happens there. We need to remember that, so let's say in the clergy where our pastors themselves fail, what does that say about the ministerial fraternity of the church? It's the same for our schools. Now, we don't accept, or we don't just take in students who are 100% angels. And I've told parents this, we don't have holy angels in our schools, because unfortunately as well, we have Adventist parents who send their children to public schools, and then at the end of the day, when they're doing other things that they should not be doing, they send them back to our schools, who then influence the students already there. So what do? You're trying now to be the savior. It's what it is. We're not perfect, but we do our best.
There's one more hand. I'm going to come back to you, but I'm going to go to that young man over there, and then we'll come back to you. Go to him first, and I'll come back to you.
I lived in London for a while, because I'm British, so I lived in London for a while, and I remember just going to camp meetings, regular camp meetings, and I saw somebody smoking weed. It's like camp meeting, yeah? So, and I remember John Loughborough's school, and there was other schools in London where, Adventist schools in London, where the children were, they had a, you know, as Adventists, we tend to have when we're bad, we're doubly bad. Yes. Call a spade a spade. When we decide to go into badness, we go into badness on a different level. Yeah? So, that's true. You understand? No, so the world does stuff simply, and then we take it to our next level. Just like Jesus said in Luke 16, verse 8, the people of this world are more wise than the children of light in this generation. So we cannot expect our Adventist schools at all times to be this whole holy thing. It's not. It's just not realistic. Real. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some element of badness inside it, and when we try to pretty it up, it's an Adventist school. No. No, it won't work.
Exactly.
All right?
Exactly. Imagine, take it of that young lady. So Jesus taught these disciples for 3 years. And your boy, John, after all that love, pulls his sword out and cut the guy's ear off. Think about it. He's been with the man for 3 years. All the love, the feeding, the taking care of the world. And what'd he do? He took his sword out and cut my boy's hair right off. Right? So we want people to change, but we just don't know when. And we're not covering, I am no way trying to cover this up. I'm saying it's real, and we have to address it. We just can't keep shoving it under the thing. All right? Question.
So to preface what I'm going to say, I went to Adventist school from elementary school, nursery, all of that, up until high school. And just like they're saying, anything that happens in a public school, I go to public school now, happens in the Adventist schools. And do you think the inverse can happen? Basically saying, like, there are students that will come in and they have those, like, worldly, do things that they're not supposed to do. And the students who are, that are part of the church or whatever, they adapt to their behaviors instead of the opposite.
It goes both ways, just saying, yes. So in life, you're around people, good and bad. You decide what stage you are in your life. When I went to California for the first time, I'm like, oh, these people are crazy the first month. Second month, yeah, they're crazy. The third month, they're not that bad. After 6 months, I was one of them. It took me a year and a half to go, I got to go. But it took me a while. Suppose somebody cut me off at my 4th month. I wouldn't choose myself to leave. You see what I mean? But I was there for 2 years, and after the year and a half, I'm like, this ain't for me. That's a choice. I want my children to say, yes, Daddy, I touched it, I'm around it, but I don't want to do it. If I cut you off there was a young man with a basketball. If I cut him off too early, he may blame me. But if he tries at it and don't like it, he chooses to get on the other side. So, yes, I want it to be perfect. I do. But I'm afraid that perfection in environment, that bubble environment, won't let them be prepared for the real world, right? That guy that put the line in the middle of the road, I could have went off. I could be in jail right now because it frustrated me to that point. You see what I'm trying to say? Or my maturity level at that point could say, he's racist, he hates me, but it's okay. You see what I mean? I don't know where I was. I would have dealt with that differently if it was years before then. But God gave me enough mercy and grace so I could deal with it. And we don't know where that point is for that young person. We don't. And I try to be patient with them as much as I can, but he's teaching me to be patient. There's no way I'm going to go from a structured environment at IBM, I mean structured, to walk into Oakwood and went, oh, you see what I mean? It's a different environment. It took me a while to not want to change them, accept the way it is, and then work my way through it. You see what I mean? And that's maturity level. And I want my child and you to grow to that maturity state so that nobody will poke you when you blow up anymore. Fair? Okay. Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to speak to your question and respond as someone who did matriculate through Oakwood. As your daughter said, there is everything at Oakwood that you would find at a different school. But Talak?
Yes.
Mentioned earlier, how far do you want your child to fall? From the 13th floor or from the first floor? There are many things in place at Oakwood. If your child is messing up, and what I've experienced a lot of times, we come there broken already. You don't get broken at Oakwood, like once you go to college and, oh, all of a sudden my kid. No. Whether the parent knew that or not, they were like that when they came. So there are teachers, there are pastors, there are other students who are willing to bring that person back. The corrective measures or the consequences, I should say, aren't even as bad. So even if a young man is getting into trouble, I've seen it, I've witnessed it. Instead of calling the cops, they handle it in-house. There is law enforcement on campus that will prevent that young black man from being locked up and the repercussions being even greater. The same thing for maybe a young lady or whoever. Hopefully that's helpful.
But change the mic to that young lady in the back. What hit me when you hear the students is this. thank God I was here when I screwed up. You can't erase a record. You can't. But enough support will allow you to carve at it and get better at it without the stains. I always tell my girls, if you could get to your freshman year with no scars. Remember, if I hit a girl, she would remember the clothes I had on. She would remember what I said before I hit her. There's a lot more drama if I hit a boy. We got short-term memory, right? So you don't want to have them have any scars. But I want her to be close enough to say, ooh, I shouldn't be hanging around with this. Ooh, I shouldn't be hanging around. You see what I'm trying to say? And that's maturity on my part, because I want to save you right away, protect you. But God says no, because think about when Paul was Saul and switched over. He used the same zeal he had killing the Christians that he had saving the Christians. The same zeal. So God don't totally take things from us. He allows us to rechannel it. And we want to hopefully find that without letting them slip too far. The young lady asked, did it go both ways? Yes. But I'm hoping that God will put a seed in that person to give them the best chance possible. Fair? And I don't mind talking about this. We talk about this, but my girls come to my office. I need to hear it. Right? One young lady had a belly ring. I didn't say, don't get it, this is crazy. She got it. So now let's deal with it. She got an infection in it. Right? So now we have to make sure we take her to the doctor, not blast her, but make sure we take her to the doctor, make sure she's okay, nobody knew, and she took it out by herself. If I said, you shouldn't get that, blah, 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 she would have hated me and thought it was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. But because hopefully I was patient enough with her, she would choose to do the right thing. She could not, but she could choose to do the right thing. And she did. If she didn't, you said? If she did, I have to respect choice. Pull yourself back again. Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve was around the man himself, God, every day. He would, hey, Adam, what you do? Every day. But the big thing about God, my God, he gave them a choice. I would never, if I was God, oh, no. I created you. I gave you the best place possible. I'm not giving you a choice. Where did he put the tree of life? In the middle of the garden. What kind of design is that? Put it in the corner. He put it in the middle because he respected choice. If that's the example of my God, I have to do the same thing for other people. I got to respect their choice. I don't have to agree with their choices, but I have to respect it. And to me, that is true love. Think about stuff like taste buds. If you don't have, you're not going to die if you don't eat. They didn't die, but God said, I'm going to give you some taste buds. That's love. That is total love. So if my example is my love for my father, I'm going to respect their choice. And that's hard for us humans. We want control. I paid for you. I'm sending you to school. You better do it my way. Ultimate love is saying, I love you, honey, but I'm going to respect your choice. That is the ultimate love, and that's what we aim for. It may not be acceptable to your friends, but that's the love that God showed you. Respecting choice. You want to go to heaven with somebody who don't want to be there? You don't. Love says, I'm going to respect your choice. People always go, yeah, but I'm going to be burned in hell forever. God ain't that bad. He's going to say, you just can't come in. That's it. Every knee shall bow, right? Every tongue shall confess that, yes, Lord, you are fair. I don't deserve this. Done. Over. Think about the devil. When the devil finally gets destroyed, you think God going to cry? He created him, people. That's still a part of him. He will mourn the same way if you don't make it. If the devil, you think it's so bad, but God created the devil and he respected choice. So his destruction will bring a tear to my God. That is to me is the ultimate love. I would never be that merciful. If I'm going to, remember, he didn't just create them. He knelt down like a crazy man and blew his own breath in him. That to me, that's a connection. And to let that spit in your face, put your little Savior on the cross. Remember, the week before they put him across, oh, be our God, you fed us. The next week, anybody got some nails? Anybody? Right? For him to see that, I would have wiped all y'all out. Y'all did that to my only begotten son? No, I would have wiped y'all out. And start over. But my God showed me what real love is about. So real love is respect and choice. Go, baby girl. Go. Your mama carried you for 9 months, but you got to make a choice. I'm going to love you. You interview the mother of a serial killer. Different attitude. The victims, he should die. His mother, he had a rough day. The mother of a very bad criminal still loves him. Remembers carrying the little rugrat. That's love to me. So I'm not going to beat them up. I'm going to hopefully be strong enough to say, go. Right? I love you so you can make your own choice. Because you don't know when God's going to change that person. It's not up to me. It is not up to me. All right? So it's a touchy situation, but look at it through God's eyes. I mean, if I was picking disciples, you think I would pick John? Are you out of your mind? Oh, and then Judas? Oh, yeah, Judas, come with me. I'm not going to turn my back on him. You see what I'm trying to say? But he picked regular people because he loves them so much. So my regular people is going to mess up a lot of times, but they're going to try to find their way back. He would have came back a long time ago if he wasn't trying to save me. Right? So I understand your point, and I want to encourage it, but we're going to do the best we can on campus. Fair? Okay. So I got a question in the back. Go ahead.
No, it's not a question. It's to the question that he asked. Okay, I went to SDA school all my life. Mm-hmm. And what I realized is that a lot of parents, they send the children to the school, not for the school to fix the children. Mm-hmm. The schools are not fixer-upper. There are schools, they will introduce you to Jesus that can change you. And I had some friends, what they were doing. Some of those guys, they would tell me, my father sent me to SDA school because I was so bad. For the school to fix them. It's not going to happen. But what happened, I have one friend. He was doing things. He's still not in SDA, but his children, he wants all of them to go to SDA school and church. So there's something in it to send your children to Adventist school, to SDA school.
Good point. Thank you. Any other questions? Question up front. Come on, you have a comment? Okay, I get your comment while he comes and give her.
Someone asked about the difference between Oakwood and other HBCU schools. Now, I did not attend Oakwood, although I'm there 3 or 4 times a year, because I love the school. I went to Loma Linda, but I also went to Howard. I wouldn't advise any Seventh-day Adventist to attend Howard University. For one thing, it's not among the top 5, top 10, or even top 20 of the HBCU schools, but the environment as you walk onto the campus, you are wishing that Jesus was somewhere, because you could feel that there's some other force that has dominion. It's a good school academically, to a point, but there's something missing. And I have to tell you, when I drive onto Oakwood's campus and I park outside the administration building, it's like Jesus says, come unto me. You feel a difference. There is a feeling on an Adventist campus. There's nothing like experiencing Friday night vespers on an Adventist school. There's no Friday night vespers at Howard or Emory or Hampton or any of the others. We're the only one that is that religiously based. And we're one of the few where you're going to get teachers who respect you enough not to use foul language at you in the classroom. I had to get used to that when I went to Howard, used to people using words that I don't use to myself, and saying, okay, I'm actually paying this school more than Oakwood costs. It's just that Oakwood didn't have my major. But I'm paying this school way more than Oakwood, because Howard ain't free, and it's not cheap. For somebody to stand in front of me and cuss at me, I wouldn't get that at Oakwood or Andrews or Loma Linda or any of our schools. There is a huge difference. huge that I can't even put my finger on it because it's between good and evil. And not that Howard is evil and Oakwood is perfect or Andrews is perfect, but I want to err on the side of righteousness. Let me give my students, my children, my grandchildren that opportunity to have that better choice.
You don't know that's something missing if you never had it. And, you know, if you're used to that environment, it's like, hey, what's the big deal? That's why we have to show them. I mean, you can't think about it. People always say, well, you know, Eve didn't have any kids before sin. I'm like, how do you say that? If you're cursed and now it's going to be painful, what are you comparing it to? Right? What are you comparing it to? Hey, you had to have something before, so you compare. Same thing. If they keep saying you people, like, if they didn't have this, what's wrong? That's what we do. We party. We hang out. That's what my parents do. You see what I mean? The thought that your parents will smoke crack in front of you, like, we be like, oh. But if that's normal, when COVID hit, we had to send some kids home. The parents wasn't ready for that. Some parents would have to get a 30-day window so they could get detox from their crack, knowing that the kids are coming home. We didn't know that. They were like, you can't send a child home now. We have to get aunts and uncles to keep the kids. But it's not normal for us, but it's normal for them. Right? One young lady, she sleeps in the bed with her mother and his boyfriend and her boyfriend. And that's normal for her. We would be, oh, but that's normal. So we're not saying it's a good, it's just what you're used to. And we're trying to get these kids used to something good so when they go out in the world, they could see a difference and they could choose to stay in. Fair? Okay, you got your hands up. Oh, and your own mic. Go ahead, girl.
All right. This is straight from a topic, though. Somebody's asking, what different sports activities do you have on campus?
I'm sorry.
Different sports activities do you have on campus?
Okay, sport activities. We have basketball, girls and boys, volleyball, we have baseball, softball, we have soccer, girls and boys. So there's a lot of sports, but that's not our focus. Our basketball team is really good, and our girls' volleyball team is really good. Those are D1s. Other ones are not D1s, so they play, but they're not that high. No, they play other schools, but not to that level. We have a lot of, people think of Oakwood as being a bunch of black kids. We have a lot of Spanish, whites, other kids. And the white kids, they play softball. The Spanish kids play soccer. So we have a mixture of kids on campus and a mixture of sports because of them. You wouldn't have a soccer team unless you got some good soccer players. So we now have a good team because of the kind of people that we have been talking to. So it's diversity that way, but we do have some sports. The track is what we call intramurals because we go and run against other teams because if you have black people, you got fast people. But we don't take it. Track is not a sport where it's in the limelight. You got to enjoy track to go watch track. So our basketball team would normally join the track team for exercise until their season. So it's not that serious. Okay. Fair? Oh, that's fine. No. You ask questions now. You're young. It's okay. I got you. It's okay. Question in the back. All right, we got about 10 more minutes. So bring it on. All right, bring it on. My goal here is to open you up to different things and allow your support staff here to continue this. This is not a one-time, we come in, we do our little song and dance, and we take your money. This is a commitment for you guys to figure out how we could help each other out. Fair? Question in the back.
The question I wanted to ask, in the school system, whether it's high school, elementary, or college maybe not the same. Okay. But what's about when the kids when the parent does not do not pay, the tuition is not paid? Do they get pulled out of the classroom?
Crucify her. I think because the environment that we're in, you heard her say earlier, we try to work with you. We don't want to put you in a financial strain, which is not real, right? So if it's too much for you, it's too much for you. But if we could provide support for you and work it out, that's what we're here for. We're not here to throw your kids out. I know we put money into our prison ministry, but we don't want that to be the reason why. We're going to try to do whatever we can to get you stay in the system.
Because
right?
my son used to go to another school and he got pulled out. The month he didn't pay, he was pulled out in the office until I paid. I mean, he was paid, you know? He used to go to school in Manhasset, a Catholic school in Manhasset, St. Mary's, and he got pulled out.
Think about what your answer is. You have to get threatened a little bit. Because a little bit of push would mean that, ooh, I had the money anyway. So if we threatened you and you paid, okay, mission accomplished. But if you didn't, we're going to work something out. But if you knew you didn't have to pay, you probably wouldn't have paid, is my point. So we're working with you, but understand the hardest part for me is this. If I hand out $10 to him and she sees it, hey, where's my $10? No, he needed it. But because she saw it, she's going to now badger me to death to get the $10. So we're trying to be fair, but understand there's only so much money that we have to help. You see what I'm trying to say? Because other companies, they dealing with company money. We're dealing with God's stewardship money. That's a little different there. You know what I'm trying to say? We just can't throw it away and act like it's no big deal. So we're trying to be restrictive, but also be merciful. Fair? Hold on.
No, I think you answered and that was fine. You're right. And there are parents who will come to us and they have the best situation possible in terms of scholarships and three-way plans, whatever, blah, blah. I mean, it could be down to the wire where they have to pay only, let's say, $50 a month. But for them, it's just $50 and I don't have to pay it. And that thing just racks up. And until you say, listen, until you pay this, your child can't come back, they're not going to pay it.
It's hard to be on one side, but you understand what we're trying, because you play the other person.
You see, the children in those schools that get money from the government do not, like my son at the time, the children never got the opportunity. I'm talking about 1 month. That was non-negotiable. My pronunciation for the word. Yeah, but they would never give, once that money is not paid, they're pulled in the office.
Right, but
until that is paid.
Right, but we're trying to keep the same rules for everybody. So it may not fit everybody. So the customized part is you taking the time and come see somebody. But you're right. We're not saying it was right. We're just saying find the time.
No, I'm not saying it is our school. It was St. Mary's High School. But I'm just saying that's what happens in the other schools.
Oh, in the other schools. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm just asking if it's done.
No. Here we try to be a little bit more merciful.
Oh.
Next question. Yes.
In terms of credits, what is the minimum number of credits you could earn for a bachelor?
It depends on your major. The
average
government
credits.
I'm sorry?
An average number of credits.
120. Each curriculum is sanctioned by that state or by that program, and some you get 118, some you get one. It depends on it. And then it also says, out of the 118, you need this much in business. You need, so the criteria is more than a total number. Like my daughter, she had all her cores done, but didn't have enough total credits. So she had to take some more to finish up. So that we try to monitor. We have a special audit program where the kids have on their system, anytime they push the button, it says, ooh, you're short this much, and they try to guide you to the 4 years. Okay? All right, we got another 5 minutes. Somebody else?
Do you allow credits, somebody to complete outside?
Yes.
Let's say, for instance, your tuition is so high.
It's called
and I
transfer
could get
credits.
It's transferable.
Yes, transferable. So in a regular college, your first 2 years is what we call gen eds, right? Your gen eds go back and forth without a problem. That's why you could go to 2-year college for your associates and get your BS degree later on, because those first 2 years you're taking stuff. If you're in engineering now and this is your 4th year, those classes are usually not transferable because you need a specific class to take. So that's a little harder to negotiate during your last year. But your first 2 year, most of them go for elective or to something that's in your new major. So that's not a problem transferring. All right, a couple more minutes. Any questions? This was good. I like it. I like it. All right. Oh, is that a question, or are you waving your hand? Oh, she has a question. Now, what's the hardest question that last? What is it? Bring it, girl.
It's not very hard. It should be easy.
Okay.
Do you have any twinned programs or programs
Say it
that you
again.
work? Twinned programs
What's
or
that mean?
programs
Oh.
that you work with other universities in order to achieve,
yes.
say, for example, a bachelor's, or if it is, I've completed a bachelor's in 4 years. Is there any other university that you work with that I can go straight ahead and do an extra year for the master's, etc.? Do you have any of those integrated or twinned programs with other universities?
We don't call it that twin, but yes. So our programs, like for example, our medical programs, we cater it to our next level, right? Our med school. So the med school come in and say, after year 2, we're going to accept you. And you take these classes together to finish up, and then you move it over. I came back from, I went to the Bahamas. Yeah, Bahamas. No, Bermuda. I went to Bermuda, and Bermuda, we worked a deal out with Bermuda that says, hey, you start school in Bermuda, day 1, you will know you're going to Oakwood. And you would take classes there and just keep going and come and finish up at Oakwood. So we do have agreements back and forth. High schools, for example, we have dual degree programs which we sign with different high schools, knowing that these classes, if they take them, they'll get credit, and when they come to Oakwood, they just transfer them over directly. So we call it dual degree. You call it twin, but it's the same connection that we have there. All right? Did I get to the end? Oh, go ahead, girl. Young lady in there? Yes, you. Hold on. Get the mic.
Which medical schools do you partner with?
Okay, see, I'm looking next to me, which is Dr. Vanderpool. She could probably spit them off like the bottom of it easily. There's at least 7 of them. Mayo Clinic is one of them. UPenn, Alabama, Birmingham. There's a list of them, and I could get that to you, to be honest with you. I can't spit them off at the top of my head, but yes. But they come in, and they actually get our students early because they know our program is very rigid.
Do those same medical?
No, you're right. Normally, is one of them. Sorry.
Do those same medical schools give them scholarship as well?
Good point. So last year, I spoke to Dr. Vanderpool, and she had, say, 49 students that graduated. 41 of them went for $0. Oh, you're welcome. 41 out of 49, okay? And that's because, remember, think about this. You got accepted at a school 2 years in advance. You're starting to fill out every single scholarship 2 years in advance. So by the time you get it, they give you stipends, they let you come and work, and they pay the students money to actually come to the school. So I don't have the rundown of what they pay each one of them, but yes, you get a lot more scholarship because a regular school, you go 4 years, and you find, oh, this person accepted me. You ain't got time to fill out scholarships. If you do 2 years in advance, you'd be filling out scholarship for that particular school. That's what they do. They make sure that they fill as many scholarships that they can to reduce, because we're talking $250,000 for med school. It's no joke. No joke at all. And I told you, Dr. V sent me a note last week that they had 5 scholarships in Alabama. No, sorry, 6. And we got 5 out of 6. They take it serious. Okay? Scholarship is the amount of money they're going to give.
How much were those scholarships, roughly?
The med school, for example, is about $250,000. So those students, the 41, got $250,000 of scholarships because they got 0 to go through. Yeah, like I said, undergrad, you think it's expensive? Your med school is seriously expensive. And to get an opportunity, remember, yes, you get loans. Yes, you could try to get some money, but I don't know who have $250,000 to give your child to go to med school. You know what I mean? And to walk out of med school without a bill, oh yeah, bring it on. You know? And I was shocked the amount of scholarship we give out. Think about it. A 3.9, you get $65,000? Come on, people. It's a lot of money. I was with 4 other schools in the Bahamas last week. And they walked up, we're going to give $20,000. And everybody went crazy. And we're going to give $21,000. They went crazy. And I went up and said, we'll give you $65,000. Because there's nothing that you have to compare to that. But when you see other schools, what the money they give you, yeah, our kids ain't got rich parents. They don't. And the scholarship you earn at Oakwood University, we don't hand money out. You earn it. And hopefully that will give that student the sense of, yes, I've got to put something into this. All right? Any other questions? All right, this has been good. I'm sorry? We have to wrap it up. All right, we have 6 minutes. So my goal coming here is to give you guys the opportunity to get stuff. So if you, that clock is wrong? Yeah. You have me looking at a clock that's wrong?
It's an hour late. Hour behind.
Serious? Oh, man, y'all, no, y'all owe me. Oh, they got me working overtime by purposely putting the clock right in front of me that says it's an hour behind. Okay. Yeah, but it's not right now. My goodness, y'all are killing me. It's 11 o'clock. All right, we got to wrap it up. But for any student who fills the application out, this next couple of weeks, we're giving you extra $1,000. So I committed that to you guys, and I'm going to keep that. So that'll be today. But you all got my email. Send it to me, fill out the application, and help your people help themselves. Fair? Yeah. All right, I'm done. Thank you guys for the opportunity.
Sorry, Dr. Tullock. I forgot about that clock. Thank you all for coming out this afternoon. I'm a little hoarse, but we appreciate the support. I like all the questions. Pastor, thanks for not cutting the time, because I didn't realize till I saw that clock that it's not right. Adventist education, there's nothing like it. And if you have any further questions, everybody has my phone number, everybody. Just don't call me during Jeopardy. These are my requirements. Okay, but you can call me all the way up to midnight, and I'll answer the phone. All right. I want to thank, yes, Sister Grant, the principal of the Northeastern Adventist Academy Queens campus, for coming out with her husband, who I never can remember exactly where he works. Yes, no, I remember his name. I can't remember what his position is.
Husband.
Yes, I'm sorry. Campus? Okay, so he's the assistant principal for the Northeastern Advent. Wait. Oh, he's with Greater New York. Okay, so we have both conferences represented here. And this morning we had some administrators from Jackson Heights School, and I don't know if we have any other administrators here right now, but I thank our students for coming. I want to thank their parents for coming, our high school students. I want to thank Neil Reen in a special way, because she did some things that she didn't even know she was going to be doing, and she did them with such professionalism and finesse. And I'm very proud of her. And thank my department for backing me up and for doing what they had to do to help make today possible. And thank you, Pastor, for your support as well. And at this point, I think we're going to stand for prayer. Remember, if you have any students that are even slightly interested in going to Oakwood, we could, or any of our other schools, but I'm speaking in terms of the scholarship that they would get, just let me know. I'll give them they can go to oakwood.edu and download the application, and somewhere there it'll ask about their church affiliation. When he sees it, there's a grant just for filling it out. All right? And every little bit helps. Our Alumni Association in New York is very beneficial in making sure our students graduate free of charge. Not that they pay for all 4 years, but if you only owe a couple grand at graduation, they will help you to march. They've done it for this church. Somebody asked about medical school scholarships. The Dr. Vanterpool that he's speaking about is somebody who I helped her to get into Oakwood when she was just graduating from high school. And, 1844. And she did so well at Oakwood that Loma Linda paid for her to get her master's and doctorate. And now she's back at Oakwood teaching and heading the department. Students that were just born when she went have graduated from Oakwood now. And one of the young men from CWC is at Loma Linda getting his MD, full 100% scholarship. And I held him as a baby. So I just want you all to know it can really happen. All right. Pastor, is he still here? Okay. Let's bow our heads for prayer. Father in heaven, thank you so much for the opportunities that you afforded us today. Thank you for bringing Dr. Tulloch here safely. We ask that you give him traveling mercies to his next appointment, and may he continue to be a shining light for Adventist education. Help us to take everything that we learned today, not only keep it to ourselves, but spread it to all around, and to make it a priority in our lives. Thank you, Father, for hearing and answering our prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.